right, Cowboy Nation. Go ahead and put all of your worries, put all of your doubts out there. Have all of your pitfalls, your emotions. Feel free to vent. Feel free to look at this game and say, hey, man, we're horrible. Feel free to put all of those thoughts out there. It's hurt, don't it? Yeah. And we haven't played against a team like this before, right? We've seen this before. We've been in Sovereign's kitchens before, right? And last year we was 3-5 starting it out. And now this year, boy, we sure do look like we haven't turned the corner from what we did last year. And yeah, people can say that, Dak Prescott is his fault. You can say that it's the coaching fault. You can say it's the person that didn't wear their lucky hat fault. Where's my picture? There I go. There I go. Where am I at? There I go. Put me on the screen. Put me on the screen, baby. There we go. All right, you can say all of those things, Cowboy Nation. We can look at this thing and be like, man, come on, man. The game was right there for you to win it. If we handled our responsibilities, if we took care of home. And if you're not able to play good at home, then my goodness. Why are you representing the Dallas Cowboys? Man, my goodness. I Am Jazz says the refs are refs and coaching. Okay. He's saying those are the issues that we have right now. Okay. I feel you on that. I Am Jazz. I feel you on that, But at some point, we got to look at this thing and say to ourselves, how can we, collectively, Cowboys, how can we turn the corner? Now, could we whoop up on the Jets and say, okay, yeah, let's feel good about that win. Let's feel good inside. Or we can display against the team that's in our division. That's why I say that's when we turn the corner. We play against teams in our division. We prove that we are, the NFC East kings or what have you. That will be the best outcome that we can put out there and show and exemplify to everybody out there, right? That would be the best thing. That would be the only reason, or that would be the only thing that we can show to the world. The only hope that we have left is to beat down the teams that's in our division that we comfortably playing against. Because unfortunately, when we play against a rookie head coach, we're not able to dominate. And especially on the road, they coming off a loss, we coming off a loss. They looked like they was ready for the first 3 quarters, and all of a sudden, between the last third quarter and the fourth quarter, we showed something. But whenever you play too close to win the game, you play too close to being safe, you lose. Look, at any moment, at any given time, I would not put the ball in the kicker's foot. That's just me. No nuts, no glory. Let's be real. The main head coach of this particular team, although he showed us fire, although he showed us desires, there's no way in life you put everything for all of those laughing guys that was out there on the field. Dak Prescott sweating out there. There's the number 55 from the opposing team all in the face. And this is the craziest thing that I'm going to challenge and call out all of the offensive players. The next time I see them, I'm going to call them out too. You do not have a guy, number 55, to get into the face of your quarterback, and you don't come to that guy's attention, and you don't rally and chase behind that particular guy after the game and say, hey, meet me outside now, or meet me during the game. Now, he did fold it up like a wallet out there several times. Number 55, Zadarius Smith, whatever his name is. These guys, these 53 men that's on this roster, it should have been a hidden Cowboys assassin out there saying that you're going to get in the face of my quarterback, I'm going to take one for the team after the game. I'm going to sneak me one. That's just the reality of it. This team got to – look. Oftentimes, we look at teams that win Super Bowls or teams that won big games, whether it be in college or whether it be naturally from what we've been seeing out here. But what happened here is that you take on the identity of your head coach, regardless of how you look at it. Look, nice guys finish last. You You know, the nice guy that's in high school, he's going to finish last, you know. It's just the reality of it. He don't get none of the girls, you know what I mean, in high school. And maybe in middle school, he don't get none of them. But maybe when he finally make his money and when she's overweight and fat and sloppy, he gets her then. You see what I'm saying? The soggy, sloppy sacking. That's what I wanted to say. I'm tongue twisted over my words over here. Sloppy seconds. That's what the nice guy get. And right now we're getting sloppy seconds right now. If I could bring home to anything. Oh my goodness, I can bring home to anything of what I'm trying to.
For all the fans that understand, Prescott wasn't the only one that made mistakes.
Yes, he wasn't. Yes, he wasn't. Shout out to you for making
Why
the
does the playbook open up when we are down and trying to make a comeback? We don't call anything special until it's too late.
I think that the reason why the playbook don't open up the way it did into the latter part is because the defense changed. The defense, if you look at the temperament of the Green Bay Packers, they went into the soft shell look. You know, they allowed us to get the plays off or what have you. But the creativity, yes, it was there. But what we're seeing is something that we can identify for with the last 9 years, you see. And trust me, lo and behold, everybody knows that I love this coaching staff collectively. But just because I love what they can do doesn't mean that I can say that this team can take it there. What I'm saying is that you might look. I love my first car. My first car was a 1995 Honda Civic. It was nice to me. It got me from point A to point B. That was my first car, 2-door coupe. I had it in college. Fooled around and put some rims on that thing. It was 17, but I kept it clean. I love that car. You couldn't catch me dead in that car. Now I know the maximum ability of that car cannot get me where I need to go now in modern day time, especially as it relates to I gotta jump in front of somebody, I gotta push the gas pedal, and I gotta get up. You know, I gotta get it up. I can't play around with it. And once you go beyond 4-cylinder cars, you never go back, basically. So what I'm saying is we love Jason Garrett. We love what he can bring to the table. We love his philosophy. But at the end of the day, will it get us there as it relates to punching it into the Super Bowl? Nah. Is it too early to say that we're not going to win the Super Bowl in October? But I can say this right quick. Just hear me out, Cowboy Nation. I'm not jumping off the bridge, but there's going to be something drastically to happen in order for this team to realize and wake up. And maybe, and just maybe, that one play, that outburst that was on the sideline with the red flag and challenging the play, maybe the team can use that as a battle cry and rally around that, you see. That's the only thing that I can say. We never seemed prepared to play against the Packers in AT&T Stadium. This is from Dallas Cowboys prospect, Dallas prospect, where every legend was once a prospect. Gary is the problem. This is John Spark. And at the same time, I know the low-hanging fruit they're going to put out there and say, well, Jason Garrett is not the guy that's throwing the football. Jason Garrett is not the guy that the ball is bouncing off the bodies and the opposition is there. And last I checked, Jason Garrett, he don't play defense. They was gashing him. If anybody, it should have been Rob Marinelli to be called out. Or if anybody, it should be Chris Richard. He's overrated. He can't coach well. That's why he didn't have no opportunities when he was available. Nobody reached out to him. And then on top of that, if you really think about it, Rob Marinelli, when he was a head coach, he was nobody. I know we're going to hear that left and right. And we're going to look at this team as a team, as it relates to coaching, a bunch of people, as we say, nobody who ever won it on this coaching staff. The only person that got hardware is, of course, Chris Richard being a what you call that, an assistant coach, and Jason Garrett being on the team in the 90s, and he had to lean on and fall back towards, what was this guy? The two coaches, Barry Switzer and Jimmy Johnson. That's all we got is our resume. That's all we got. That's all we got. But we can't get mad at the sun for shining on us, right? You got to be prepared, you know. You know that the sun, look, sometimes when you look, this is the craziest thing about life, right? This is the craziest thing. The craziest thing that I know about life, you can't predict the weather, right? You can plan the picnic, but you cannot predict the weather, right? But you can look at tendencies. They got a thing called the Weather Almanac. And then on that tendencies, you can see, okay, history shows that in the last 20 years that this is what happened on this said day, you say. And then you can start planning around it. You know for sure that it's going to be 95 degrees out there. So that means that you don't want to bring that Eskimo jacket, right? And if you know that it's a probability of it raining, that means that you don't go walk out there with your shirt off and with no umbrella. This team refused to look at those small things as it relates to how teams face us offensively. By them running and gashing up the middle, and we go through all training camp, all off season. No, we don't need another Dominican Sue. He's nobody. Oh, no, we don't need a Gerald McCoy. He's a nobody. We can't afford him. And then when it's get time to drafting, okay, we'll draft this 3-tech. He's this guy that can shoot up the field. He's a Tristan Hill. Oh, let's wait for him to develop. But you need to stop the bleeding now. When you get shot by a gun, you don't go and say, hey, give me the Band-Aid. I get the bullet out next year. No, you surgically remove that. You surgically get that Band-Aid removed. You do. Let me know if I'm wrong, Cowboy Nation. Let me know if I'm wrong. Let me know if I'm wrong. That's what we do. You got to get that bullet surgically removed. So when I say surgically removed, what is that, Law? Okay. That meaning that you go out, you get somebody that you know can make plays. I love Tyron Crawford. We love him. He's like my 9500 Civic. We love it. But come on now. Did you see him make any plays out there today? You see these guys running like he was the second coming of Barry Sanders? Let me know when I'm lying. Let me know if I'm lying. Let me know where I'm lying at, you know. You know what I mean? You know, you got to figure out a way to stop the bleeding. But you got to surgically, you got to cut somebody out. You talking about the purge squad, then you got to purge some of these guys that's out, that's getting gashed. You got to. You got to figure out, okay, the way we're playing football right now is not the way to win us against the run. It's not. It's exactly not. All right, this guy, thank you for the donation to help grow the nation, man. I really appreciate you.
The amount of times the ball hits our corners in the back is so frustrating. They need to turn around its back. Coaching by Chris Richard.
Yeah, and this is the thing, and this is not me just trying to stand up for Chris Richard. What I'm saying is that it's like they gave Chris Richard the keys to the defense, or gave him the keys to the car and said, hey, you can't go over 55 miles per hour, but it's yours now. It's your baby, and I want it home before 11 o'clock. That's what they're doing with Chris Richard, because this is not a cover 3. This is not the same scheme that the Seattle Seahawks are running. This is still a primarily dominant cover 2 defense mixed in with Rob Marinelli. Now, this is the best thing that you can say, the little mixture of old and a little mixture of new, but it is what it is at this point when you look at the style of finesse that they play with this defense. That's just how it goes. Number 55 was faking injuries. Yes, I agree. Number 55, he was faking a lot of energy, man. Injuries. Yes, he was. He was faking a lot, man. I mean, they should do something about that. You know, real talk. They should do something about that. They should. And we got to figure out something, Cowboy Nation. We do. Let me see if I can pull this up. Really appreciate you all. Let's see if they're live right now.
AT&T Stadium, brought to you by American Airlines, the official airline of the Dallas Cowboys. Thought one of the 3 picks was on Dak. Thought there was a lot of contact on that third one. Yeah, and Jason Garrett, as pointed as you'll ever hear in terms of the officiating in this game, obviously had the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty called on him, and basically saying that because we lost the first challenge, which is obviously his mistake, on the first pass interference that he tried to get overturned, then because they had to throw the challenge flag on the Cooper play that should have been ruled a complete pass on the field, okay. They didn't then have it to do that third time when that third pick that came from Dak Prescott. Had they had it, maybe they would have challenged.
Yeah,
and
good observation.
Maybe they would have challenged and won that. And there was, when you go back and look at that, Gallup and Kevin King, the defensive back for the Packers, were, there was a lot of contact between those two guys. And by the way, that was the exact same official.
Oh, great.
involved in the missed call or the missed catch by Amari Cooper, and then the no flag with a lot of contact on Michael Gallup for Dak's third interception. But look, a lot of mistakes were made by Dak Prescott, by the Cowboys defense, by the Cowboys offense, by the Cowboys special teams, 2 missed kicks, lots of penalties, bad calls, bad officiating.
Yeah.
It was just a night of bad play.
Bad.
All the way around.
It was terrible. And that, I guess the pass interference, the face guarding, if you will.
Face guarding.
The hold on Jeff Heath, on Jimmy Graham.
People are killing Jason for that, for throwing that challenge flag there. What are you going to do? You're down 24-3. What are you going to do? Hold it for when it's 31-3?
Right.
You've got to make that.
No,
that is a game-changing call.
I agree.
So if they could, even if it was a 10% chance of overturning it, which it probably was, maybe more, I didn't like the call to begin with. But even if it was a 10% chance, you got to take that risk because that was the football game. And
it was.
Getting down 31-3 was an insurmountable lead.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're over. It was done. It's church. So had to do it.
34-24. That's the final. Packers win. They're 4-1. Cowboys lose. They fall to 3-2. We'll take your phone calls. 877-881-1053. You can call or text that number, 877-881-1053.
Yeah, so like I said, man, when you look back at it, and for those who are thinking that I'm making excuses for the game, no, I'm calling out reality of the game. Green Bay Packers won. I'm not saying that they was handed the game. They physically won. They won. They beat us. Shout out to the Green Bay Packers. Maybe they can win a Super Bowl. Who knows? They won. And shout out to them.
I don't believe Jason Garrett knows how to watch film and come up with a game plan. It's always the adjustments at halftime that help us secure ball games or get us back in it.
Yeah.
It's the same story every year in big games. He can't handle being a head coach.
Well, I think that this is what I wanted from Jason Garrett, in life. When Jason Garrett was first called into that role of the head coach, I think that he should have earned his grain of salt at least first with the offensive coordinator. Like being known all around the NFL, hey, man, this guy's a guru. He's a genius. He knows how to be around the ball. He's putting up 30 points. He's averaging 35 or what have you. But he was thrust into a position where all of a sudden, because if you really think about it, what made Jason Garrett the head coach for the Dallas Cowboys, and somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, was the 2017, you see. That 2017 was everything that everybody looked at and said, okay, this is Jason Garrett coaching the hell out of this team. He need to be a head coach. And then he had some offers to go to Baltimore and what have you, and the Dallas Cowboys squeezed him, and they said, okay, we're going to pay you more money. We're going to pay you an extension. I believe they extended Jason Garrett, or he could have been paid the same amount of money for Wade Phillips. But what should have happened with Jason Garrett, and it goes all the way back to Jerry Jones. Jason Garrett Jerry Jones should have did this with Jason Garrett. He should have already made Jason Garrett the head coach and allowed Wade Phillips, I think that's his name, right? Wade Phillips, right? The head defensive coordinator at that point. Yeah. Instead of undermining Wade Phillips. That's what I believe.
The whole game would have been different if Amari had made that catch instead of a pick.
Yeah, look, I said last week the game always come down to one or two plays. And that was the one play that, we wished that didn't happen, but it happened. But to Amari's Cooper defense, I can say that after that interception and a few plays after that, you really can say, okay, he kind of erased that because he showed up and balled out after that, you say. So I give Amari Cooper a pass, because he did show this, after that interception. Dak Prescott is super inconsistent. You can say that out for this game, Dante. Yeah, you can really say that. Let's see if they're back live on 105.3 The Fan. And I might take your calls. I might take your calls after this and see if you guys can give me some information for the nation, how you guys feel emotionally and all that good stuff.
Prescott, 27-44, 463 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, had 3 picks, also took 3 sacks. The Cowboys outgained the Packers in this one, 563 to 335. According to Eric Edholm of Yahoo Sports. He tweets, Cowboys 563 yards of offense, Packers 335. It's the first time a winning team had less than 350 yards and the losing team in a game had over 550 yards.
Crazy stuff
since
in Cowboy
1996. So first time the winning team had less than 350 yards and the losing team had over 550 yards since 1996, and the Chargers beat the Oakland with less than 350 yards total offense, and Oakland had more than 550 yards
Yikes.
of total offense.
Yeah, you know you're turning the ball over, you're being careless with the football when something like that happens. Or the other team's getting a lot of penalties, which they both happened tonight. This was a forgettable football game. It's a forgettable game.
But how much do you look at, okay, the first 3 weeks, Cowboys are rolling. They scored 97 points on offense the first 3 weeks. Then they scored 10 against the Saints. They come in here, score 3 points until basically the end of the third quarter, when all of a sudden they start to get some momentum on offense. But I mean, you're talking about a team that put 97 points on the board through the first 12 quarters of the season, Chop, and have now put 34 points over the last 8 quarters of this season.
They've scored 13 points in the first half their last 3 games combined.
Wowzer.
You ain't gonna win.
You ain't gonna win.
What is that? 3 points a half.
And to your point, once you're down 31-3 in the first half of this game, or early going second half?
Yeah, it was over.
It's over.
Yeah, I mean you're not coming back from that. Just people like the Bills did in the early '90s, and the Patriots did in the Super Bowl, and it was 28-3.
Right.
Like that's it. Those are the teams. That's the entire scope and the history of comebacks like that. You don't see them. There's a reason you don't see them.
Right.
Because teams that get down 31-3 are flawed anyway.
34-24, Cowboys lose. Ari Temkin, RJ Choppy inside the Miller Lite Club. Dak Prescott moments away from talking. When it comes time to shop for tailgate favorites, go to Albertsons and Tom Thumb. Get 10% off your groceries. Every Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, get 10% off your groceries, Cowboy Nation. So, hey, that's crazy how we look at this thing. It's crazy how we see this game, this loss, this L that we holding, this egg on our face. And, hey, we ain't giving excuses, but we have a right to call our fairness in the game. So what I'm going to do now is I'll be still bouncing back and forth with 105.3 The Fan. Just let me know whenever. Dante Sanders, thank you for making the donation to help grow the nation, man. Really appreciate you for your love and adulation towards the station. Let's see if I can turn this baby on. All right, you see the you see the score right above the right above me is the phone number 682-214-4087. You can call and leave me your thoughts about this game and leave me your concerns about this game emotionally and all those good things. Let me see if you can see it better. You can see it better if I move the stadium this way. Yeah. 682-214-4087. That's the number to get you on the nation. Let me know how you guys feel, and we'll bounce back and forward to the actual 105.3 The Fan, the radio. You guys let me know when Spagnola come on or any of those big wigs that it talks about it. Let me see who I really want to hear. I want to see Brad Sham. I want to hear Brad Sham's thoughts too. So y'all let me know. Horrible officiating this game. This is from Bolden. Yeah. Refs running the NFL. I think the refs kind of take it personally at times. Yeah, I do think that they do kind of take it personally. Defense lost this game. Yeah, let's see what we got from here, man. We got the 908 calling the hotline. 908, talk to me.
Yo, what's going on?
No, man. Well, I guess it was good if we both alive. Well, talk to me, though.
Yeah, man. Yo, Jason Garrett has to go. Jason Garrett literally has to go. It's been 10 years. He's been the coach since 2010. I don't know no other head coach who's had more chances than him other than Marvin Lewis, and you see how the Bengals ended up once he left, and you see how it's ridiculous. We do this every single year. We always have hope, and nothing ever happens. Nothing ever happens. And again, I love Dak Prescott. I don't think he's a bad quarterback, but he's average. He's the black Alex Smith. He's not going to win you the game. He's not going to lose you the game.
Right.
He's going to be, if everything goes right, then he's okay. But if everything goes wrong, he's not going to be the quarterback to bring you over the top. And I don't think that's the type of quarterback that's worth $32 to $35 million. I'm sorry. He's not that type of dude. I love Dak Prescott. He's a good guy. But you have to be realistic in this aspect to understand how your team got there. Your team got there through defense and running the football, not through passing. He's not Aaron Rodgers. He's not.
Well, let me ask you this though. I'm gonna just try to be objectively as possible. How much? And of course, trust me when I'm saying I'm prefacing my statement. He is the best running back, one of the best running backs that I can see with my natural eyes. How much do you put weight on Ezekiel Elliott? When do we start putting pressure on Ezekiel Elliott to play better? I just want to know.
I do think that Ezekiel Elliott does have to play better, but at the end of the day, I don't think that. I don't think.
Well, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, though. And this is just me thinking. Objectively speaking. If you was an alien from outer planet and you was to land on this earth and you would see that if I was to tell you one of these guys on the field is getting paid $103 million, he wears a certain number and he's a running back, which one of those guys you would say?
On a surface level, but we all know Zeke's contract is backloaded. He's only getting
True.
He's only getting what, $50 million guarantee. How much is the guarantees? I forgot, but it's not
45,
close to that.
50, something like that.
Yeah, come on, like he's getting just enough as the running backs don't get that much money off of your cap room anyway. But Dak Prescott, person that's going to be taking a certain amount off your cap room, he has to be that guy.
Yeah, true.
He just had. I mean, and I'm not saying Dak has to be Tony Romo and take everything under his shoulders, but he has to be that guy where he has to be consistent. It can't be throws that be underthrown or throws that's behind him. You have to be consistent. And I've seen a lollyball throws like them 2 60-yarder touchdowns. One of them, the Gallup, that was a prayer throw. And I know it's going to look good in the stats. It's going the 400 yards. And it's going to look good. But come on, we all know that was a lollipop throw. We was down by 31-3, and we had no chance of coming back anyway. So even though I don't think that we should give up on Dak yet, but if we're going to keep Dak, Gary has to go because we don't have that type of dude. It's almost like when the 49ers. Remember when the 49ers had Jim Harbaugh and Colin Kaepernick? We all know Colin Kaepernick is not a great quarterback, but under the right head coach, he can be managed enough to make plays to make plays. And I don't think that Jason Garrett is that type of dude. He had 10 years. He had Tony Romo. he had Tony Romo. You can't win with Tony Romo and Dak Prescott.
No, just name them off. No. Name them off. Terrell Owens, Tony Romo, D. Ware. Just name them off.
I'm going to run it down. First it was Terrell Owens' fault. Then it was Wade Phillips' fault. Then it was Tony Romo. He's not snapping it. Remember when Tony Romo was snapping it late and he needed a wristband? Oh no, Jason Garrett take some time off the play call and be the head coach and let Bill Callahan call the plays. Then it was Bill Callahan's fault. Then let's get Scott Linehan. Now it's Scott Linehan's fault. Now Kellen Moore, we're gonna throw the bus under Kellen Moore. Like when are we gonna give this guy? Like come on, he's making millions of dollars. How many excuses does he get? He gets more excuses than the president of the United States.
Man, this is a good call, man. I'm going to let somebody else put their mental out there. But, man, I'm going to give you one thing. We win this game if we did what?
We win this game if we come out with passion. Of course, we have to execute, but we win this game if we come out with passion. First of all, the defense and the interior D-line is terrible. Ever since the Rams game, we did not – that interior D-line is terrible. Everybody's running the ball up the middle on us for some reason. And if we continue to let that happen, we ain't beating nobody. Especially in the playoffs where we might have to go – because we're not going to win in division. Because I don't think we're going to win the division, or I don't think we're going to be having a bye week where we're going to have a home game I don't think we're going to have that first home game. So I think it's going to be chances where we're going to have to go to Chicago in the cold. We're going to have to go to maybe Green Bay again. And when you're on the road, your interior D-line has to be elite, and we don't have that elite interior D-lineman.
We don't.
And we keep ignoring it for some reason. I don't know why we keep ignoring it. Ndamukong Suh was there. Jerry McCoy was there. And we're ignoring it for what?
Man, and this is my fault too, though. I have so much, man. I'm telling you, man. I'm be so positive about a number 95, Christian Covington. I'm so positive about number 51. I'm so positive about these guys. But the reality of it is that we
don't have time.
We don't have time. We just don't have time. I'm so positive about it. I'm Mr. Positive as it relates to that defensive front, but they're not going to get the job done.
They're not. Tristan Hill, the rookie, he's young, so I'm not gonna expect him to be elite. But at the same time, Jason Garrett, I still blame on Jason Garrett because you know your head coaching job is on the line.
Zeke still doesn't look in shape. No explosiveness from him yet this season.
Hey, Jerry, come on, man. This is I'm on my lame duck year, and we just got pounced by the Rams by a person that was just on the couch eating chips, and he was looking like he was looking like the Big Show, fat and nasty. He was pounding on our Terry D line. Can you give me some help? I don't care about Randall Cobb. I don't care. But that's not how we won last year. We won by defense. So let's improve on that defense.
You're right, man. Oh, man. It was a good call, man. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much for tuning in to the nation. Shout out to your page, man. You do YouTube or what you do, fam?
Oh, I do a little YouTube, but right now I'm in school right now, so right. I just been focused on school and.
What you taking up, man? Business.
Business administration.
Business administration. You sound like a businessman. I graduated with an economics degree, so continue, man.
That's what's up.
Yeah, continue to grind, man. Get that degree, man. Appreciate you.
All right.
Peace.
I thank you. Bye.
That was a good call for the 908, man. I really appreciate him. We're looking to see what we can do to bounce back, Cowboy Nation. Boy, it don't look good for us, but man, we got the Jets next, so hopefully we can figure out a way, and I mean just that, figure out a way to beat the Jets, because that's the only thing we can look forward to now, because we definitely can't look towards anything else, because this team, we really going to have to figure it out. We really do. We really going to have to figure this thing out. Let's see what they got on 105.3 The Fan.
That got the defense back at field. The defense was gassed. I think defense did not play great, and you're right. You're not going to win many games or give up 34. But the offense, I think, in the first half really set the table for this loss by not being able to consistently keep the defense off the field and put points on the board. I mean,
yeah, the offense in the first half, like I said, moved the football, missed field goals, turned it over, bad sacks that would lead to punts.
But that's why I think it's more on the offense, because they just didn't get out of the you need to play. They talk about complementary football, and the offense just didn't do enough to keep the defense off the field, which allowed them to give up the 17 points they gave up in the first half, and then obviously another 17 points, beyond that in the second half. So that's why I think it's offense. But you're right. You're not going to win many games where you give up 34 points. It's just that we think that this offense is at least built.
Phone lines back open, 682-214-4087. Phone lines back open. Really appreciate you.
Rated this football team after 3 weeks.
Well, that's the question here, right?
Yeah.
How good is this football team? After 5 weeks, how good is this football team?
They're somewhere. I mean, before the year, I didn't think they were Super Bowl contenders. I thought they were playoff contenders.
We had to see what
Let's see what we got here. We got the 202. Shout out to the 202. Thank you for calling in to the nation. Talk to me.
Hello?
Yeah, what's good with you, man? You live on the nation. You live like 95, baby. After a loss.
Yep.
How you feel?
My opinion on this loss right now, I'm happy what they did in the second half. I just hope they carry it over to the next game. But I see all these teams like the Chiefs and stuff starting off super fast, and I'm like confused why we can't do that.
Oh my goodness! Just kind of like I think that we in fear to start off fast, because I'm thinking that what they look at, if they don't connect, then they get these 3 and outs, and I'm thinking that they tried this game, but the drop pass that it equaled a interception slowed down all of that. We tried.
Yeah. That's
the only thing, because that happened in the first quarter. I think it was after the first drive or the second drive. Y'all help me out, Cowboy Nation.
And I'm never one to be like a Jason Garrett
Wouldn't it
hater,
be ironic if Garrett got fired like way after a Green Bay blowout?
It's not like he gave up, but he just sitting there staring at the game after like a horrible play.
Say it again. We had a donation to come in.
It's
Really
like he has
appreciate
no
it.
enthusiasm of what's happening.
Which one? Who had no enthusiasm?
Oh, my fault. It's like I've never. Jason Garrett.
Oh.
Like if he's not having any enthusiasm, he has no play calling on either side of the ball. I'm confused. What is he there for? To throw challenge flags?
Oh man. Well, the one play. The only reason why I'm going to hold my reservations on going at Jason Garrett after that, because he did show us some emotions within this past 9 or 10 years, however you want to call it. That he showed us some emotions on the sideline. They gave him a sportsmanlike conduct penalty, and the team kind of rallied behind that. But if that never happened, if that never occurred, and we get blown out like what Wade Phillips did, somebody put that in the comment box, that the Cowboys fired him after that game, and it was going to be one of those 46-3 type of games. But he showed us some type of emotions, and everybody kind of rallied behind that. But what my thing is, my only reservation with Jason Garrett is that when things start crumbling, I just don't think that he can make those necessary adjustments within the game on a consistent level. That's just me. Because I can only imagine the Green Bay Packers having, not Emmitt Smith, but Ezekiel Elliott back there, opposed to Aaron Jones, and seeing how he would have ran the ball if he was coached under them. You see what I'm saying?
I don't know, because the way I view Ezekiel Elliott now is, he's not one of those Christian McCaffrey, Aaron Jones, Alvin Kamara backs.
Okay.
I feel like right now Ezekiel Elliott is just there to take blows, and that's perfectly fine. Like when we have like a 3rd and 1, like he's turning into like a Mark Ingram, but like a way more explosive one.
Like
I'm not saying Zeke is bad, because he has a huge important role in our offense, but he's not like one of those explosive players like Christian McCaffrey. Like he was that player in his like rookie year, but ever since then I haven't seen him get back to it.
Yeah, you're right.
He's losing.
But shout out to him catching that deep pass, but that was just that one play though, you know.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, man. So
like he's not.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Ezekiel Elliott change a game in like a while, since like he always has a big role in our offense, but I haven't seen him like change a game like since like probably that Philly game last year.
Yeah.
When we went to Philly.
Yeah, and he hopped over the guy and this was the thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But he hasn't like sat there and changed the game like Christian McCaffrey can, or somebody else. Like even Todd Gurley before with his problem with his knees, he was changing the game. But like, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, like we need to cut him or anything. I'm not going that far.
Right.
But I'm saying, like, we can't keep on feeding Zeke if we know he's not going to change the game. He's just going to control it.
Yeah. And it's horrible, man. I just hope that he can find a way to bounce back, basically. He still look like he's still in Cowboy at certain times, and then at times he look like the Ezekiel Elliott from last year. So we'll see, though. We'll see, man. Thank you for calling in from the 202. What's your name?
My name's George.
George, man, really appreciate you, man. Thank you for calling in to the nation. Thank you for your input as well.
You're welcome, bro.
Salute. That's good call right there, man. Good call. 682-214-4087 is the number. Let me see if I can catch this 972 number. Let's see if we catch 972. Shout out to you.
Hey, was that in the low?
No, man, it's your world, man. I'm just trying to pay rent.
Yo, man, I'm going to keep this short, man. Calling from the D, man. Die-hard Dallas fan. I just, like I said, playing with no enthusiasm, man. I think it was always fun in the game, but it's just bad coaching, man. It come down to Philly and us. Philly probably win the division. We'll get in on the wild card, man. Philly, we've got way better talent than Philly, but it's just that they coaching is bad, man. Defense ain't one wrapping up and tackling. We should have dominated Green Bay, bro, especially with all the injuries.
Yeah, because if you look back at Green Bay's, I guess, teams that they played, they allowed a lot of running yards on them, you know. And I think that Ezekiel Elliott ended up only having 62 yards, I believe. And then on top of that, I think at the end of the first half, it was a lot of those 15 to 16 yard runs that he was doing that was kind of like during the time that they was giving us the underneath. So it's looking bad for us right now. Now, I'm not trying to throw Ezekiel Elliott under the bus as well.
Yeah, you paying them all this money for what? You ain't going to use them for what?
Oh, my goodness. But, then again, it goes both ways. Is it the coaching? Are they not drawing up the right and proper plays? Is Kellen more and more of a offensive mind as it relates to passing opposed to running the rock? It can be so many things that we can look at it.
Yeah. And the way the game started, I just knew we had this game, but Aaron Rodgers got a number, man. I'm going to have to hear it now all week.
Oh, my
everybody's
goodness.
Man, Cowboys, they don't give us no room to brag, man, as fans, bro. You know what I'm saying? They don't give us no room to brag, but it is what it is, man.
Yes,
they getting paid all the big bucks. They get to go home with their families at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But hopefully we get it together. The season still kind of somewhere young. You really don't see what you got with teams until like November. So, man, Cowboy fans, Cowboy Nation, we still can bounce back, man. We just got to keep going, keep fighting.
Yes, indeed. Keep
But
fighting.
shout out to you, Law. Keep doing your thing. Keep representing the D, man. You doing a good job, bro.
Appreciate it, man. Shout out to you as
Big
well,
fan.
man. Thank you, man. Thank you for calling in. Salute.
Sir.
That's 972, man. I really appreciate him for calling. Oh, my goodness. Let's see if the radio station is playing something that we can
What do you say to him? Or
I mean, I could have put the ball two more inches in front of him or whatever it is. That's a great player. I mean, sure, he had that drop, but you go back and you look at the rest of the game, the plays he's making, the catches he's making, catches that double move and makes two guys miss on the sideline. You tell him let it go so he can come back and do exactly what he just did. And we have those type of players that we're not going to sit there and hound on one mistake because we know that they're very prideful in that and that they're going to look in the mirror and blame themselves first before they say, hey, Dak threw that a little bit behind me. Simply that right there. Tap him on the back and say, let's go. You'll put it behind you, as he did.
On that third interception, Michael Gallup seemed to be pretty thoroughly mugged, but there was no flag. What did you see on that play? And was that contact something that you saw before releasing?
Yeah, sure. I think you look around the league, a lot of quarterbacks, when they see something like that, they throw it that way to make sure, hey, throw that flag there. But as I said, it didn't happen, and you have to move on.
Dak, how do you take what y'all did in the fourth quarter and make sure you do it in 1, 2, and 3 next time?
Yeah, we don't necessarily have to have our backs against the wall to play like we did. We've got to figure out whatever it is, find out the way or find out whatever it is to start the game like that. And when we find that, it's going to be dangerous. But until then, that's the goal, and that's what we've got to work to get to.
You've always been a guy who takes good care of the ball and doesn't risk it very often. Why not so much today? Was it just the pressure that they created or defensive secondary looks they gave you?
We've talked about two of them, two of the interceptions. I'd say the second one was definitely my fault, just trying to fit a throw in there that I had no business. Could have just thrown it to the back. I pride myself on taking care of the ball. So when you get back in the locker room and you have a game like this and you've thrown 3 interceptions, it's not a good feeling, but I promise you I'll get better because of it.
As a team, it's a loss, but when you look at the film, what do you think your guys are going to be proud about?
Obviously, just the way that we fought, just the effort that we gave, the way we played when we had no other choice but to go forward. And as I said, that's what we've got to figure out how to do that from the very beginning. But this team's full of fight, full of character, and it all showed that we're not going to give up. We don't care what the scoreboard is. We're going to focus in. We care about each other. A bunch of unselfish men that want to see each other succeed. And I guarantee I'm not the only one that has this feeling. I know everyone in that locker room does. And we're going to go home, do whatever it is, but then we come in tomorrow, turn the page, and become a better team.
Your coach is a guy who doesn't show a lot of emotion publicly. He does to you guys, but what were your thoughts on the penalty that he got and how you guys seemingly responded after that?
Yeah, we've got our coaches back. I don't want to say too much on that. That's a guy being passionate about his team, passionate about a play. I think all I saw was him, hey, here's the challenge flag, and I know that's a catch, and a flag comes after that. I just got to be careful what I say.
Moving away from the flag, what did you see on Amari's catch?
Yeah, what a great catch. Another one of his other brilliant plays in the second half or later in the game of I didn't know if he got the second foot down or not, but the way he came back and he was signaling I got it, and the way the crowd reacted when they saw the instant replay, it's nothing short of what he always does.
What do you say about this team, what people are saying about this team? Your first 3 wins against teams with losing records. Your 2 losses against the only 2 teams you played with winning records. Does that tell a story about this team or what?
No, not at all. I can say that sure we might have sniffed ourselves a little bit too much, and that's why I said we take these last 2 games and especially this one and say, hey, we probably needed that, right? We probably needed that, and we're gonna get better because of it. That's why I said maybe we'll look back at this 4 or 5 games later, or how many ever games it is, and say that was good for us because we became the team that we are now. And the men that we have in the locker room, there's no doubt in my mind that's what we'll do.
Did the Packers throw anything at you defensively in that first half you weren't expecting?
No, not at all.
Okay,
good. How much is there a self-inflicted component to these 2 losses?
Yeah, a bunch. A bunch. Yeah, a bunch. I mean, we're not only playing the other team right now, we're playing ourselves these last 2 games. And when you're doing that, it's very, very hard. It's hard to get things going. It's hard to get in the groove. And it's hard to come back from a deficit like we put ourselves in. As I said, we'll figure out of how not to do that, get out of our own way, and be successful early, and it'll turn into some wins as we get going.
Was today just another example of how much Michael Gallup is, developing and earning your trust?
Yeah, he's got my trust. There's no doubt about that. The look in his eye when I haven't thrown him the ball yet and we're talking about things, or after I do throw him the ball, he makes a great catch on that slant. It's like, hey, come to me. That's a guy that wants the ball. It's a guy that wants to make plays. It's a guy that wants to help this team win in any form or fashion that he can. And that's a bunch of guys that we have on this team. As I said, as I always would say, proud to be quarterback of this team. I have no doubt in my mind of what we're going to do moving forward.
How's he as a communicator when, it's been X period into a game and he hasn't really gotten the targets? What's he? Does he tell you, like, I'm open here, I'm open there, or anything along those lines?
No, I mean, I've got a good I guess, feel on reading people. He doesn't have to say much. I can see it. But as I said, once you throw it to him and he gets that first catch, that look he gives you kind of says it. Hey, I'm ready. Let's go. And that's all of our guys.
Howard Smith being out and then Lyle Collins going out during the game, how did that impact what you were doing as far as protection-wise? Did you need to keep some guys back at some point?
No, we didn't. We didn't say, hey, Zeke, stay in, or hey, tight end, stay in here more to help these guys out. Excuse me, nothing like that. Trusting those guys, and I think obviously we got to go back and look at the film, but they fought their tails off just like everyone else did, and did what they had to.
Dak, when you said sniffing too much, was it stuff that the media was saying about the team?
I know they're going to come back to it.
Yeah, I mean, no, not at all. It's I don't think this team necessarily listens to the media. If we did, we'd be in trouble. We'd have been in trouble a long time ago. So definitely not that. I'd just say just the early success we had, the way we were doing things on offense, the way defense was shutting teams down. Yeah, I mean, I think that was just that. We know we're a good team, and I'm not taking that away and not saying that we're not. We know we're a really, really good team, and we're confident in the players we have. We're confident in what we can do. But sometimes you have to know that that it's the work that gets the wins. It's not the talent. It's not the camaraderie, but it's the work. It's how you come to work each and every day, disciplined, detailed, and that turns into wins. So we'll do that.
Dak, is it kind of the old saying, win's never as good as it looks and a loss is never as bad as it looks?
Yeah, I sure hope so. I mean, I haven't watched the film, so I can't second you on that, but I sure hope so. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Dak.
Good way to wrap that up.
Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. They lose.
All right, so that was a good interview by Dak Prescott, a young Randy Dakota Prescott. He owned up for his mistakes, what have you, and he went over the interception. There was a good play by number 39, Sullivan, I believe, and that was a good interception, man. He said he shouldn't have thrown that ball. So there you go. You get more of the back and forwardness. Whether or not you prefer Dak Prescott to dump the ball off into the flats and be the check down Charlie, or you prefer him to take that risk and be a little gunslinger here and there. And that's what you get. It's like a conundrum. You know, you can't win on both sides of that. So my thing is with this total game, he did talk a little bit about the emotional aspect of Jason Garrett being on the sideline. And to what he kind of covered up most of it, he was saying that, hey, you know, and we rallied around that. And I love that. I love that. But it's still, the season is still young. You don't get out of the playoff for 2 games, right? We're not eliminated. I think we're still top in our division, 3-2, and as well as the Eagles are 3-2. So we got to look at it in those parameters. I think the Eagles are ahead because they beat the Green Bay Packers, so they're going to be in the 3-2 slot ahead of us. Or, I don't know, maybe because since we won 2 divisional games, maybe they put us at 3-2 ahead of them. Let me know how that can go over Cowboy Nation. Let me open the phone lines back open so you guys can call. The phone number is 682-214-4087. Yeah. Call. Let me know how you all feel, and get your frustrations out. Get the adrenaline out. Just get it going. 925. Shout out to you, 925. Thank you for tuning in to the Nation.
Yeah, of course. Big game today that we couldn't come up with. It's a little disappointing.
Mm-hmm.
But everyone's giving the coaches a hard time.
True.
And I can understand where that's coming from, just because, you start off slow, and it seems like to be the same pattern every week,
Mm-hmm.
But I was kind of looking at the drive summary for each drive that Dallas had during the game, and I'm going to kind of walk you through every drive.
Talk to me.
So the first drive is an interception, and that was the one where Cooper dropped the ball, right?
True.
So that's a missed opportunity that you have. They drive the ball past the 50-yard line, and they have the chance. They have the chance to score, and they mess it up, right?
True. Or before you give me the summary of everything, we can either say that could have been a +7 or a +3. We can play that game, okay?
Right. So +7 or +.
+7 +3.
So one of the two.
One of the two.
One of the two, but we end up losing by 10 points, which is huge, right? So all these little things and it's uncharacteristic. I don't want to put the blame on Dak for that one, just because Cooper should have had that,
Yeah.
But it's just all these little things, and I don't think this isn't coaching. This is just execution.
True.
But then the second drive, where we drive the ball down past the 50-yard line again, and we're in third down in it's third down and 7, and then Dak takes a sack. Dak takes a 10-yard sack, which takes us out of field goal range.
Yeah.
Right. So we got to punt the ball away. So that's another 3 points that we left out.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next drive, Dak throws an interception when he intended to pass to Cobb, which they were driving again on that play. They ended up with 40 yards in total, but Dak made an interception, which is uncharacteristic of him. But that's another 3 to 7 points we left out.
Where were we when he did that? Where were we on the field when he did that?
At Green Bay's 35-yard line, he threw an interception.
Yeah, go ahead.
Intended short middle for Randall Cobb, intercepted by Sullivan at Green Bay 21-yard line. So it's not a good throw by Dak, but again, you're leaving points out there, right?
Right.
But this is. I'm going to keep going, but I want to say.
Well, before you put your thoughts out there, at maximum that's 21, right?
At maximum that's 21. I don't. I would say maybe 17, just because that sack.
Mm-hmm.
It was 3rd and 7, so maybe if the sack's taken for less than 10 yards, maybe you'll kick it. He was right outside of field goal range, so I thought maybe Garrett was going to send the field goal team out there, but they ended up punting on the second drive.
True.
And then let's see. So that was the third drive. So that's like you said, max 21 points left out. And then we have our first bad drive on the 4th possession of the game. So it's a punt. We get one first down on that drive, and then we punt it away. So that's one bad drive. And then Green Bay on Green Bay's returning drive, they get a field goal, and then we get the ball back, and we drive down the field with 1:39 left, or with just a couple minutes left in the half, and Maher misses a field goal.
Yeah,
that's another 3 points left on the field, right?
I forgot about that one. Yeah.
And then that's half. So everyone's pointing the blame at, you can point the blame at whoever you want, but if Maher makes that field goal, we're down by 7 on the last drive of the game, and we have a chance on 4th and 5 to go for it and win the game,
Yeah, man.
But
yeah, it's a good way to put it. Yeah.
I'm going to keep going here. So that's the end of the half. And then, the first drive of the second quarter, or the third quarter, we punted away. So that's our second bad drive. We had 2 drives in the game where we haven't gotten it past the 50-yard line. Then after we punted, Green Bay scores a touchdown, and when we return the favor with a field goal, we drive down the field and we didn't convert. Which, look, you're not going to convert on every time you get into the red zone. So they kicked a field goal, which isn't the worst thing, right? And then Green Bay returns that with a touchdown, and then we score a touchdown. Green Bay punts. The defense really started to play well in the second half. They came out flat in the first half, but they really started to play well in the second half. And then Dallas scored again, and then so that at that point it was 31-17. Then Green Bay punted back to Dallas, and then that's when everyone's like, oh shoot, we might have a chance in this game, right?
Right.
And then they, I'm not one to complain about the refs, and everyone always complains about the refs.
True.
But I think in this game in particular, we had a little bit of a tough time with the refs.
Yeah.
And then so this is when Gallup was getting held up and his back of his helmet was getting pulled and Dak threw an interception. It wasn't a great throw, but if Gallup isn't getting pulled on and yanked on, and maybe he has a chance to catch that, and that's a huge play in the game. So then the defense. So that's another time we
off of that, did the Green Bay Packers score 3 or was it 7 off of that interception?
Yeah, they scored. They scored 3 off of that.
3 off of that.
I mean, the defense, like I said, they played. The defense played real well in the second half, but all these points start to add up. I mean, and that's why when everyone's getting down on the team, you can't get down on them like that because it's all these little mistakes, and I mean, you can clean them up, which is the goal, obviously. But if as long it's little things that start to add up, and no one really sees them until I mean, if you look at the broad perspective of the game, even what I've said right now, I'm not even done, but Dallas has left so many points out there,
Yeah, they did, man. Sheesh. So my thing is, and that was a wonderful. Are you complete? Are you done? Are you finished with that?
I mean, yeah. You guys, I think you have the general idea. I'm pretty much done. Yeah.
You're pretty much done with it. So, here's the thing. We as Cowboys fans, I'm thinking that sometimes you look at the Dallas Cowboys head coaching, and I don't think that he deserved all of the blame, but I'm thinking that the voice of everybody is saying, collectively is saying, man, this guy been here for 9.5 years, going on 10 years basically, and it's the same song and dance of this type of thing happening, whether it be Amari Cooper ball bouncing off his hand, or whether it be some crazy non-respectable call from the officials as it relates to a wide receiver getting mugged and not giving the coach the benefit of the doubt, or the coach got to go on the field and have a doggone challenging match against the officials and things like that. So we can look at it in those angles, but at the same time,
Right.
It's a tough loss for people to look at this game and been supporting the team for over 10 years, and this is what they got to go home to, or this is what they got to go to the next week to, saying that, well, when we play the Jets, there's going to be a team that we should win against. Right. And to me personally, if I believe that the Dallas Cowboys are who they say they are for the last 10 years, we always play down to the level of a competition that we playing against. And for the first quarter until the third quarter happened, we might still see some of the same inconsistencies as it relates to Ezekiel Elliott, as it relates to Dak Prescott. People are going to look at that and say, well, if this team start off 10-6, they still going to have a ride against Jason Garrett because we play down to the level of the competition, basically.
No, you're right. And then, I also think people are giving Zeke a hard time. I think the fact that Zeke got 12 carries because we were behind.
True.
From the outset, so it's tough. You can't be handing it off when you're down 28. You got to throw the ball, and that's where we struggled in the first half. We started to come alive a little bit in the second half, but you're not going to use Zeke as much in the second half just because you're behind so much.
True that. Like I said, I believe Ezekiel Elliott is one of the greatest running backs in the NFL currently. But the problem is that it's going to be hard to other people when they look back at the stat sheets 3 to 4 weeks from now. They're going to look at that game and say, he only had 62 yards. You see how that goes? Right. And Dak Prescott, although he threw for 460-some yards, he had 3 interceptions, and it's a loss. It's an L, you see. That's what they're going to look at. Right. But I really appreciate you, man. You got some good points. What's your name, fam?
Tiki, T-I-K-R.
Tiki. Man, really
from California.
Cali. Really appreciate you, man.
One more thought. And
talk to me.
Quick. I think it really hurt that we didn't have Antoine Woods out there.
Oh wow, yeah, a disruptive. Yeah, he is a true defensive tackle. He's
I'm
the
losing
only
it.
true.
I'm losing it.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. He's a real run-stuffing defensive tackle, and we didn't have that out there today, and it really killed us.
It really showed on film. So we'll see. We go back to the drawing boards, man. I really appreciate you from Cali, man. Tiki.
Yeah, of course.
Salute,
I appreciate you picking up my call, man.
Anytime, fam.
All right,
appreciate
bro.
it.
Peace.
That was a good call, man, from 925, Cali. He brought in some good points. He's a thorough, analytical type of guy. I love that. He broke down each drive summary. And at max, we had 21 points. Even at the middle part, we had 17 points. And then at the very least, we should have had at least 13 or something like that points out of those first drive. But like he said, execution wasn't there, so we can go back to that. I don't think that the quote-unquote play calling was horrible in the first series there. You know, if this guy hold on to the ball, number 19, then who knows what would have happened when we got into that money zone. All right, we're going to tune back in to 105.3 The Fan, and then we'll open up the phone lines again once we finish listening to what they got to say.
But our guy's terrible, and he should be deported and shot and drawn and quartered. But their guy might be a better football player.
Oh.
Now, I also thought
Patrick Mahomes is also better than Dak at the same time.
Well,
Related
maybe,
story.
Yeah, yeah. I thought that after a play or two, and again, I got to watch the ball, but I thought Brandon Knight acquitted himself pretty darn well for a guy who wasn't even supposed to see the field all year.
And probably hadn't practiced at tackle.
Until this week.
He'd been practicing at guard,
right?
Yeah,
now, although he has been, I talked to him during the week, he has been playing tackle on the scout team. Now, again, you have to look at the tape. It seemed to me like there was an uncommon amount of pressure in his face, and that means the front of the pocket's not clean. That means the interior is not clean. Now, you watch what happened to him on the 40-yard touchdown pass to Gallup. He got annihilated. Yeah. Annihilated. So nobody cares about it then because he threw a touchdown pass. So you have to go back and see who's getting beat. Why are they getting beat? Is it technique or ability? And if you have to make a change, you make a change. I don't think that's the case. But the Packers' left guard, their regular left guard, is on injured reserve. They lost their starting center. Their best receiver, the only guy with any kind of qualification,
zero excuses.
It didn't play.
Zero excuses. I meant to say.
Holy cow! They got guys running around in the secondary who you have to look in the back of the book to find their bio. So. Take out the violins. Everybody's got problems. You just got to play better. And today they did not play well enough. And the first three quarters defensively were atrocious. And I don't think that's who they are. But if they keep playing like that, then they'll lose a lot of games. And I don't think that'll happen.
You know, if I told you that Aaron Rodgers would only throw for 238 yards and he'd have a quarterback rating of around 85.
And what were they on third down?
They were 3 of 8 at one point.
That's what they finished. 3 of 8.
3 of 8.
Yeah. 3 of 8.
Okay.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That's crazy.
I would have told you, okay, they've held them to 10, 15. There are other wide receivers. Their wide receivers in the game caught 4 passes.
Yeah.
You got beat by the running back catching 7 passes for 75 yards.
And Jimmy Graham caught a big one on a third
Jimmy
down.
Graham.
And
their tight ends caught more passes than their
how about the one to the guy on his way to the Hall of Fame, Tyson?
Tyson, yeah. Or Tyen, or however you say it, yeah.
Tyus.
But this is what
he was driving a UPS truck last week, I think.
Yeah.
But this is what
Robert Tyen.
This is Rodgers. What he does. He makes 3 amazing throws that
and
stick in our memory forever.
And he got away with a fumble.
Yep.
Because he was smart enough when that ball came out of his hand, he went like that.
Right.
And Jerry said it too. He went poof. Like, okay, I threw the ball. He didn't throw that ball.
All right, so a lot of people on social media were saying, why is that not intentional grounding? Is it because his hand?
Because the back was in the area. The back was within just a couple.
And
he
might have been out of the pocket. I don't know exactly. He probably was, but that ball didn't get to the
line of scrimmage. But the back was right there. But his
arm got hit too.
I think we saw several examples.
That's why he fumbled it.
Of what I said to you guys on the pregame show, that he takes good players and makes them great. He takes average players and makes them good. He takes poor players and makes them average. And there aren't many guys who can elevate everyone's game like that.
Tony Romo.
Drew Brees won a game for the Saints last year on a Sunday night. Didn't involve the Cowboys. And I just remember that he threw like 5 touchdowns to guys that no one had ever heard
Robinson.
of.
Y'all remember Laurent Robinson?
Heard anything after
Again,
that?
and 3 of them, I think, caught their first NFL touchdowns. And so that's who Aaron Rodgers is. And that's why what Mickey is saying, if you let that guy run, if you let Aaron Jones run up the middle especially,
yeah, forget it.
Then you've got no shot.
Yeah. Are you guys bringing in kickers to try out this week?
Oh. Go ahead. Give me all the names of the guys you know are better.
That's what I said. That's
like
probably
who's out there.
Anybody who's available is not better than him anyway.
Oh man,
They're
that Mac guy.
He missed an extra point.
Last
well,
year,
that's
off
discouraging.
Season, they should have got
That's
him.
Or the
discouraging.
equivalent.
The equivalent of
Right.
extra was
Yeah,
33.
the 54-yarder.
I'm not going to freak out about
You know what? And I knew it was on the right hash, and there was no way he was going to make it. And sure enough, he pushed it to the right. We saw that all training camp.
The other one was discouraging because they had a chance, and that. But you know, that's not.
It's not the reason they lost.
It's not the reason they lost.
It's just one of the things that kind of
It's
piled
not even
on
probably
everything
in the top
else.
5.
Yeah, right. It was just a disastrous game. Officials, offense, defense, special teams. Brad Sham, Mickey Spagnola, appreciate your guys' time. We'll talk to you next week.
Yeah, that's a good call. Good call, man, by them. All right, so let's see if I can open back the phone lines. But those are legends. Brad Sham, I love him, man, the voice of the Cowboys, man. Just a brilliant guy. And shout out to Mickey for leaving us with his thoughts on the game. I'm thinking that if we don't believe that Brett Mayhew is not clutch, then I don't know what we are watching. Blair Mayhew is not clutch at all. Come on, Cowboy Nation. The phone lines are open. Just look at the top of the screen. 682-214-4087. And yeah. But my thing is, Cowboy Nation, it's a sad loss. It's a good reality, though. All right, we got 337 in the house, man. Come talk to us.
Yo, man, first of all, salute to you, Law Nation, man. Look, I've been checking you out. I'm from Lafayette, Louisiana.
Oh, man, right around my neck of the woods, man.
Yeah, man. So, being a Cowboy fan, they be trying to handle me, but I hold my own with them.
But this is the thing. You're going to get so many people calling you now, and tomorrow they're going to be calling you. They know your phone number now. They didn't know it a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, so my name is DJ Mixology, man, but check it out.
Talk to me.
All right, so me looking at the game and, Tony Pollard seems like they are not really utilizing him as effectively like I think they could. In other words, what I'm saying is to create mismatches, with the linebackers trying to cover this kid going out there running pretty much receiver routes because correct me if I'm mistaken, he really was drafted pretty much they looked at him like a receiver and not so much as a running back. That's one of the questions I wanted to ask. Do you think they utilize him enough? And another thing I wanted to ask you is, I think our defense is reacting so quick and kind of overrunning the plate.
Yeah. We fly out to the ball. We're a finesse defense. We're not going to dominate as it relates to power. Appreciate you, St. Clair, for the donation to help grow the nation. And we're not going to do that. This defense is a finesse defense. They fly out to the ball. They chase. And smart teams that knows this, they use it as their weakness, you see. They use our strength as a weakness. Think how fast Jalen Smith is, and think how Leighton Van Der Esch, he may be having a sophomore slump, but he's flying to the ball like no other, man. And it's just our issue right now. They're using those counters and those get backs. They run on the weak side, and they gash us, man. They gash us all the time.
Yes, you are so on point with this, man, because I want my fellow Cowboy fans out there, man, to understand something. Mm-hmm. We still a young team. We still learning. I think we're still learning our strengths and our weaknesses as we go along in this season. But I think for the big thing that I saw was we didn't give up.
We didn't give up. A little resiliency.
Rod, man, I had all of these haters calling my phone, texting me, and it was in the third quarter.
Right.
And up until 3 minutes in the game, they was hitting me up. But man, all of a sudden the phone went dead. You know, people wasn't texting me, and I'm looking at this, and I think we're gonna have a lot of people who gonna step up. And we lost a lot of people on the offensive line today. You know, so everybody want to say we have the number one offensive line, but I really haven't seen us being the number one dominant offensive line. You know,
well,
probably
the last time this offensive line was healthy was 2015, and little pieces of 16 as well. But this offensive line is crumbling. You got tons and tons of injuries, and we just got to figure out, coming off this loss, they're gonna have to look back and say to themselves, man, and then we still getting our butt whooping to the inside. And I love Travis Frederick. I love what he can do, but he still got to play into his shape, in football shape, as well as number 52. He's not helping him out because, you know, he just lacks strength.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Roger, and you took the words right out of my mouth, but I don't want to hold it up.
No.
Callers, man.
Yeah. Stay on the line for right quick so I can answer you this question right quick. You said why they didn't put number 20 out there enough, right?
Why didn't they line him out? I mean, Pollard. Why they didn't line Pollard out? Like, you know how? All right, so like in third down situations, I just think that he would create havoc for linebackers to try to cover him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, coming out of that backfield, you know, I'm just wondering why they haven't used his receiving skills. You know, as of yet. You know, even though Zeke caught that ball and that was an amazing catch, in your words,
right?
An amazing grab.
Catch. Thank you for tuning in to the Long Nation Film Session. Right. Here's the thing is, here's the thing is, right quick. Here's the thing. Who you going to take off the field to put number 20 back there? Is it going to be Jason Witten? In a certain clutch situation, will it be your other wide receiver, number 18? Are you going to take him off the field? Are you going to take Michael Gallup off the field? Are you going to take Cooper off the field? You got to ask yourself that. And then on top of that, in a pinch, if you're the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, you got to justify, because this is all politics as it relates to Dallas Cowboys, you got to justify the reason why you took Ezekiel Elliott off the field and you put in a number 20, a rookie, and then all of a sudden he get blown up on the play, and everybody's going to be looking at this team and saying, hey, why are you not using the guy that you paid? And, of course, I'm just going to throw this number out again, $103 million to, although it's really like just an average base salary of $13 million a year. But you know that's how it goes.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, but I think, you know, with a young player like him, I mean, you have to put him in those situations early in his career so that he can, how they say, you're gonna be tested under fire. We need to know that you battle tested, because going into the latter part of the season, we don't need to find out that, hey, you crumble under pressure situations like our kicker. You know,
right.
You know, so you know, I'm ex-military, and they always say you never go into battle without testing your gun.
True. You got to test your guns, man.
So, you know, I'd rather him make the
how
mistake.
Doc gets blamed when GB defense was in his face all game?
Off the field,
Come on,
but in some third down situations, like Pollard was running the ball good too. So, you know, they got to respect this kid too for his running ability. You know, so I think we should look at maybe bringing him in on some third down plays, like 3rd and 5 or 3rd and 3, and instead of running the ball, use his abilities a little bit more, because Kevin Falk made a living in the NFL on third down. You know,
he did.
And Kevin Falk is from my area. He's from my area. So, you know, big ups to Kevin Falk. Shout out to him, you know,
he played
and stuff
for
with a wonderful
he played
career.
for the Patriots too, right?
Roger. He played for the Patriots, man, and me and him, we know each other. I knew this young man back when he was in high school all the way through college. Watched him, do his thing. But that's all I wanted to say, man. And once again, man, salute to you, man, for putting out great content. I definitely plan on being one of your, contributors as far as monetarily to help you out on that, man, because I really want to see you get where you need to be, man, because definitely you and Mark Holmes and some other cats out there, y'all really putting in the work.
Oh, yeah, man. Really appreciate it, man. Really thank you for tuning in and calling into the show, man. Shout out to Lafayette.
All right.
Salute.
All right, man. Thank you. Salute.
337 was a good call. The best thing, Cowboy Nation, you guys can do for me is share this content. Let a friend, neighbor, foe know where to go. That's the best thing. But if you want to make monetary or remunerations to help me out, just hit me up. I got the links in the description box, and I also have the super chats, and it's always welcome. Shout out to St. Clair for making a donation to help grow the nation. He says, unreal how Dak gets the blame when the Green Bay Packers defense basically was in his face all game. Come on, man. Come on. Yeah. Dak Prescott get all of the blame. That's how the quarterback life is. They get all of the blame when we lose, and they get all of the fame when we win. So that's just how it goes, man. And we got to figure this thing out, just like Devon says. We need to figure this out soon, Law Nation. And Devon is really right on that. Open the phone lines back up. 682-214-4087. And that phone line stays open 24/7. So you guys can always call it, leave a voicemail, and these sorts of things. Let me get up to the 202. Shout out to the 202. Talk to me.
Hey, I just want to comment about the game today.
Mm-hmm.
My comment is about Anthony Brown.
Oh, my goodness, yeah.
Defensive back.
Yeah.
I'm thinking if he could have just turned around while he was guarding his man, we could have had 2 interceptions. What do you think about that?
On both plays, if he'd have just turned his head around to the ball?
If he just turned his head around.
Yeah, the first one when they called face guarding, I think that he was beat so bad, and he was in recovery mode, and he saw that the guy was reaching out for the ball. It was a desperation, It was one of those things. He didn't get a chance to turn at all, and yeah, maybe he'd have just turned his head, because coach will tell you if you turn your head, your body will follow, and then the officials have to say, well, at least he's playing the ball. It just so happened that he had to have eyes behind his back, but AB is not a playmaker, unfortunately. That's just the reality. We go back and forward about this team, and we have not drafted a playmaker. The only playmaker that was in college was Xavier Woods. He had 14 interceptions. The Donovan Wilson kid had a lot of interceptions. And maybe you can say Jordan Lewis, but they don't believe in Jordan Lewis. They don't believe in him. You still there? 202?
Oh, okay. But thanks a lot. That's all I wanted to comment about.
Oh, man,
Thank
it was
you.
a good call, man. Thank you for tuning in to the nation. Salute. That was a good call from the 202, man. But that's what I'm saying is just they don't believe in Jordan Lewis. He was a playmaker. And AB, maybe they would have picked up the flag if he'd have turned his head around to the ball. And then that PI was just trash. They shouldn't have called that one. All right, so we got the 434. Shout out to the 434. Thank you for tuning in to the nation. You're live.
Law Nation, love you, man. Love listening to you. You gotta talk me off this Cowboy fan ledge, man. I'm about to lose it, brother. I just had to call because I grew up, have been a fan of the Cowboys. I mean, I'm in Virginia, man, the deep South, where all Redskins nation. So, that hell to the Redskins thing gets real annoying. But I always get teased about loving the Cowboys, but I'm getting to the point where I can't defend them. This Jason Garrett thing, standing on the sidelines, clapping 3 times after we've kicked the field goal down 24-0. This stuff gets old, and you get frustrated seeing the same things happen over. It's like Groundhog Day every year. It feels like the same things. You said something earlier tonight that I have preached and I have said. I grew up playing football, coached football for years. It is up to the coaches to get the players. I don't care what the age is. I don't care what the monetary value is. It's up to the coaches to get these guys ready to play the first down. And the Cowboys, the last 2 weeks, just like many other years, have looked flat from the very beginning. They do not look ready. And at some point, Jerry Jones has got to understand that this is a coaching thing. The coach finally gets fired up a little bit on the sidelines.
Yeah.
And look what the Dallas Cowboys do.
Yeah.
Look what the Dallas Cowboys do. I don't understand. There's a couple things I just want to bring up, and I know I don't want to take up all your time, but there's a couple more things I was frustrated about. So you don't call pass interference. I mean, you call pass interference on Brown, which face guard, and I get, right? But he didn't impede the receiver at all.
Right.
Okay, the receiver didn't try to come back for the ball, so therefore it should have been a pass interference. What frustrates me, though, is then you turn around, you watch the replay of the interception to King, but you don't over. What is the reason we have these reviews if we don't fix them when we review them? I don't get it. There is no question. The only reason the interception happened is because the dude was everything but taken on a date. Okay, everything but taken on a date and dinner. Yeah. I mean, you cannot do that to a man and then turn around and say, okay, well, we're going to let that call stand. Like, I don't understand the reason behind let's check these plays if we don't correct them. And I guess the only other thing that really hurt me tonight was if you watched our defensive line schemes, when we would cross, when we would have guys under and over each other, you would see that was the perfect time and the Green Bay Packers would run to the edge. All right, so we're leaving the edge wide open. What I did not understand is at some point why we did not have either our defensive ends come out wider, because the ultimate goal, and correct me if I'm wrong, you know a lot about defense. I played defensive line. The ultimate goal is to have the running back cut it back up the middle, right, where all your help is. Well, what we're doing is defensive scheme-wise, we're sitting the guy on the outside, and we got a duck on a pond trying to stop one guy. You know, and you can't do that. And a lot of this stuff, like I said, man, it's coaching. They're not ready. They go out there, they're flat. And you have said it, and you've said it time and time again. We play to the ability of whoever was standing in front of us. If it's New England, we'll play them tight. It doesn't matter who it is. We play them to their ability, and I don't understand it.
Oh my goodness, man, boy. Man, you preaching.
Sorry,
today, Coach. No, Coach, you got it, Coach. You got it, Coach. Man, all I can say is this right here. It's been 9.5 years. It's been 10 years. And if it looked like a duck, and if it walked like a duck, it quacked like a duck. And that's just what it is. And I wish that we can look up and find every excuse, right? Like I said, I love that 1995. That was my first car. I don't know what was yours, but I had a 1995 Honda Civic, and I can tell you many of the reasons why I should have kept that car, because I was emotionally attached to that car. But when I blown that head gasket and I kept on driving it, I warped the engine, the manifold was all done up, but on the outside, baby, boy, the car was loaded. People were looking at it and say, "Man, that thing is nice." But when I tried to go up the hill, it looked good sitting in the parking way. Drive slide. It looked good, but when I tried to go up the hill, it started Harlem shaking. That car started Harlem shaking, and I was sitting there like, man, I hope I can hurry and put this emergency brake on because it's about to go down. It can't go up the hill, but it looked good on the stretch, baby, because everybody was saying like, man, this law is driving the fast and the furious car, right? It looked good, and people that knew me in Jackson State, I went and got some 12-inch subs in it. I had got it all decked out. It was looking good, just like the stadium. Everybody was saying, "Lord, when can I ride with you?" And I say, "Yes, you can ride with me, but only around the corner, because if I go far, woo, that car's gonna break down. It's gonna holler and shake, and you got to be ready to push it right behind me. Are you ready to push it? Because we're trying to get to the club." And I say, "No, we got to take your whip." He was like, "Man, my whip is ugly and old." But I said, "We'll get there with your whip, but we can't get there with mine because my car." It looked good on the outside, but it got a blown head gasket. You can't go nowhere. It won't go far. And guess what? The reality was of it. I'm going to preach to y'all. The reality of it was this right here. I had to do an overhaul. I had to get rid of the car.
That's right.
I had to. Because at the end of the day, it would leave me for dead on the side of the road in Jackson, Mississippi. So that's the reality. We right now We look good on the outside. We got the flashy Ezekiel Elliott. We had the best quarterback rookie performance of all time with Dak Prescott. We have the number one offensive line. We have the best stadium. Everybody drinking their wine and eating on their cheese in the stadium. No loud crowd noise. We have the Jerry Jones walking down Bourbon Street. We got everything that people can look from the outside. We get talked about all the time from ESPN, First Take, Your Take, your mama and your daddy and your uncle. They talking about the Dallas Cowboys. But our head gasket. Our engine is warped. Appreciate you for calling in, Coach, man. Thank you for calling in, fam.
Yeah, man. God bless you, brother. Thank you, man.
Salute, bro. That was a good call, man, from the 434, man. I had to give you guys that story, man. That's a true story, by the way. I was left on the side of the road with that 1995 Honda Civic. It was doped out, decked out, 17-inch rims with the loud muffler pipe at the edge of it. VTEC engine. It had everything in it. It was a 4-cylinder car, but it had a blown head gasket. The engine was warped. You see what I'm saying? The manifold wasn't really doing its services of a job. I had the cool air intake, had everything. I invested so much money into this car, but at the end of the day, it was still a 4-cylinder. It couldn't pull up a hill. Well, it was my first car. I love that car, you see. People will say, hey, man, let me ride with you. Had the CD player. You press the button, and it come folding out. It just fold out at you, had the blue lights all in it. And I said, hey, if I was talking to a sweetie out trying to get up, trying to pull over to the side or something like that, all I had to say is, baby, let me just get a conversation with you. Let me get you inside my car. You know what I mean? That's all I had to do is just get her there. That was my game, right? Chicks digs the cars, right? But that's just the reality of the Dallas Cowboys right now. We're going to open back the phone lines in a few. I really appreciate you all. Thank you all for tuning in. But let's listen to 105.3 The Fan and see if they got any other things that they talking about before I open back up that phone line.
A little bit more. Maybe the pass wasn't exactly where it needed to be, but I think, RJ, your point's well stated. That's a ball that has to be caught by Amari Cooper. The second pick's on Dak. The third pick, you could argue, was too much contact for no flag. Mm-hmm. And, again, just not enough plays made by the offense, not enough plays made by the defense to make the poor or questionable officiating not matter in this football game. 877-881-1053, 877-881-1053. We'll hear what Rob Marinelli had to say in a moment.
And to do this in front of Ellen, who was in the crowd today.
Yeah.
That's just terrible.
Ellen's
in the crowd. You got to step your game up.
Ellen, George W. Bush was in the crowd.
Yeah, we don't get political.
Baker,
we're not getting political. I don't know David Baker. We're not getting
David
political
Baker,
here.
the president of the Pro Football Hall of Fame, was in town.
That's a big man. He's like 6'9".
He was the biggest guy, literally the biggest of the big names that were at the game today. Cowboys lose 34-24. Here is the Cowboys defensive coordinator, kind of. Rob Marinelli.
Rob Marinelli. Papa Rob.
I think you might have had a quote of the night as you're walking out of the locker room and say, see you tomorrow. That's the best we got, right? See you tomorrow. We'll try it again tomorrow.
Outlook is forward.
That quarterback is tough.
Oh, yeah.
And you're, between Green Bay quarterbacks of past and present, you're probably a little sick of it. All.
Probably.
How much of it is him, and how much of it is we got to clean things up here in Dallas?
Well, I think it's about us. You got to stop the run. First two things every week in the history of football for me. Takeaways, one, and stop the run, two. I don't care what quarterback it is. You got to stop the run. And we didn't do a good enough job, and it made his job easier.
I'm serious. I'm going to write a headline that says, see you tomorrow, because it's the best we got.
That's the best we got?
That's about as good as it gets. Let's clean it up. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, outlook is forward.
There you go.
Rob Marinelli, Mike Fisher. See you tomorrow, I suppose. But, Marinelli's point, well stated, right, RJ? -3 in the turnover ratio. -3 there.
Yeah.
And he gave up 107 yards to Aaron Jones. He gave up 29 carries for 120 yards, an average of 4 yards a carry, but the 19 for 107 for Aaron Jones and 4 touchdowns. By the way, first running back to ever have 4 rushing touchdowns against the Cowboys in a single game, 6 yards a carry. You're -3 in the turnover ratio, and he gave up 6 yards a carry to Aaron Jones. Like Rob Marinelli says, that kind of starts and ends with that. 877.
Oh, my goodness, man. Somebody said demote Papa Rob Marinelli. Oh, he's so positive, man. And I got a chance to meet him as well. He's a good guy. It's just that nice guys finish last. And then on top of that, Cowboy Nation, think about this. I have to say this. Think about this. Do anybody have because Rob Marinelli coached the Lions before, didn't he? Didn't Rob Marinelli was the head coach for the Detroit Lions? Then I think that I'm trying to recall and go back to the crevices of the thoughts of my mind. What was Rob Marinelli's overall record against Aaron Rodgers during that time frame as well? I think that Aaron Rodgers knows Rob Marinelli's defense better than he do at this point. Somebody can educate the nation and let me know what was his. You don't have to post it now. You can just DM me on my Instagram page and just give me the intellect. Give me the overall winning record of what Rob Marinelli's defense. Oh, no. It wasn't Detroit Lions. It was the Chicago Bears, I believe, right? Did he coach the Chicago Bears too? Help me out. Just give me whatever you can find down the line. And I know we got some stat people, man. They can pull that up, like Aaron Rodgers winning ratio numbers and these sorts of things as relates against Rob Marinelli. That could be the situation in the scenario, you know. Let me know. Help me out. I'm going to open up the phone line so you guys can call and give me your thoughts. And it's open. The number is 682-214-4087. Help me out. So he did coach the Lions, okay? Because I remember, and he was on the 0-16 team. Oh, my goodness. I didn't know that. 856, talk to me.
Yo, it's Space Cowboy. What's going on?
Space, what's good with you, man?
Nothing much. I mean, I'm just trying to, cool down from this loss. I'm actually much more calmer now. I just got done my live stream, not to plug myself, but
No, you good.
I went through. I'm sorry?
I said, you good. Everybody go follow him, man. You good, man. Yeah.
I'll put myself in the chat when I'm done. Listen, I know we're all pissed off about what happened. Listen, guys. Take a breather. I know we're 3-2. I get. Yeah, listen. I get it. I'm mad too. Listen, I'm not excusing our performance on the football field, but I want you to understand how quickly this can turn around. We play the Jets next week, okay, on the road. We should be able to defeat the Jets. Now, hey, people might start people might be like, oh, well, you haven't played anybody. Last time I checked, you need wins to get into the playoffs.
True.
And honest to God, it doesn't matter what teams you play, right?
Right.
So we could be sitting at 4-2. Who knows what the hell happens with Philadelphia? If they win in Minnesota or lose in Minnesota, could be a huge factor because guess what? You play them in Week 7, right? Mm-hmm. And if you beat them, you're sitting at 5-2, and either Philly's sitting at 4-3 or 3-4. And guess what? We're not having this conversation of, oh, Dallas is collapsing. We're talking about, okay, so how much longer until Dallas wins these? Now, I don't like jumping ahead like that, but I'm just trying to reassure people that Dallas isn't out of it. If you go back and watch this game, we had issues across the board. Look, when you get down early and we have to go to the passing game, there's a reason why you're going to see these interceptions pop up. And a lot of them, two of them were not even on Dak's fault. The first one bounced off of Amari Cooper's hands, which could completely have shifted momentum in favor of the Dallas Cowboys. That's number one. And that could have led to a touchdown or field goal, whatever. I don't care. Second one, he missed a read, and he didn't see the cornerback or the safety. I don't remember off the top of my head. I think it was number 39.
Yeah.
He picks it off. That was a poor play. Okay, I get it. Third interception, Michael Gallup was getting deterred so much on that route. I could not understand why they didn't call defensive holding or defensive pass interference, and that led to an interception. And when you think about it, when your defense or when your team, as a whole, puts you in a 31-3 deficit, you know how hard it is to come back from that? The fact that the Cowboys even put up that many points to end the game is insane. And I know people on Twitter and all these other people will be like, oh, it's Dak Prescott's fault. Well, if you're down because your linebackers aren't doing their job and now you end up having to throw yourself back into the game, I remember countless times where we had, Mr. Tony Romo, the flawless quarterback that couldn't do anything wrong. I remember a game versus the Washington Redskins on Thanksgiving. We were down 28-3. We ended up making, 35-28 at one point, and we still lost that game. I'm not trying to say that Dak didn't play. I'm not saying Dak played perfectly. That's not what I'm implying. I'm not trying to trash on Tony Romo. What I'm trying to get at is, guys, there is a situation going on where we're not there's no discipline with our linebacking core right now.
My goodness.
We got to stop with the slow start, or not even that. It wasn't the fact that we were starting slow. It was the fact that we kept shooting ourselves in the foot. We outgained the Packers in yards by like almost 200 yards or something like that.
Right.
And when you look on a stat sheet, like they even said it, this was the most yards in a Cowboys-Packers game ever.
True.
And if you looked at the statistics, you would be saying, how in the hell did the Cowboys lose this game? I don't want to go on for too long because I'm pretty sure more people want to call in, but all I'm going to end off on is this. Yes, we have the LVE is not looking like that guy he was looking like last year. He might be going through a sophomore slump, right? The linebackers look gassed. Yeah, sure, the defensive line, it's not, they're generating pressure, but the problem is that when you're having a situation to where other key pieces on your team aren't doing their job.
True.
Like, I went through each individual drive, and the Packers meticulously moved down the field and got into the end zone. Aaron Rodgers didn't beat you. He didn't. It was the running back that beat you because guess what? Aaron Rodgers had no touchdowns in this game.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly.
He's a Hall of Famer now.
Yeah. Listen, we got torched by a running back because they managed to get him into fourth and goal, goal-to-goal situations. You get what I'm trying to get at.
Right.
Look, at the end of the day, I'm not panicking. You're 3-2. Yes, Philadelphia did win. And, hey, you know what? Cool. You guys beat the Jets. I don't like looking at other teams because at the end of the day, you got to get your job done. But, give it a couple weeks. Maybe we're in a 3-4 situation and we're all pissed off, or we're at best sitting maybe at 5-2, 6-2. I don't freaking know. And guess what? We'll forget these losses. So, look, Law, I'm gonna let you go. I know people want to call in. I don't want to take up much of your time. Before I go, I'll plug my stuff. If you guys haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to me. I'm Space Cowboy 17 on YouTube. I'll drop my name in the chat. You can go click on my profile and subscribe there. You can also follow me on Twitter. It's Space_Cowboy_17. Law, I greatly appreciate you for taking my time and speaking, and your time for giving me to speak. Thank you so much, man.
Anytime, man. Thank you for calling in, fam. Really do, man.
Not a problem.
Guys, hit up Space Cowboy 85 from the 856, man. Y'all hit him up, man. Space Cowboy is always giving us the good information and bringing us back to reality. He's a young guy, but he got tons and tons of knowledge inside of his brain there. We got to look at this team, like I said before. We looking at this team like it is what it is. The season is long. I hope that the reality is not like my 1995 Honda Civic. I hope it's not like that, where it's all flashy and everybody looking at it and saying, I can't wait to ride with Law. And then when you get up a hill, it start Harlem shaking. I hope that that's not the situation. But he's right. He's 100% right on the linebackers. They got to play more discipline. They got to play sound. They got to play better. It's just the reality of it, Cowboy Nation. But it's a great call, yes. Space Cowboy, y'all hit up Space Cowboy. You will be misinformed if you don't. You just hit him up, man. He got some good content on this channel, fam. For real. Let's see if we can tune in to the next caller. Whoever want to give a shout out to their channel and things like that, just call in. The number is 682-214-4087. We got the 832 in the house, man. Come talk to me. You're live on the Nation.
Yeah, man.
What's up?
Can you hear me, man?
Oh, man, you loud and clear, fam.
Yeah, it was a lot of things you could take away from the game. Not gonna try to address all of them.
True.
Just two things in particular. One, which has been, it seems to me, it's like a chronic illness that our defense has, and one of the things I feel we needed in this game that possibly could have switched the momentum sooner was to create that turnover.
True.
I understand, that fumble, maybe not fumble that happened. Yeah, I understand that, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about something clear cut.
Like a playmaker, like the playmaker,
defense,
like Sullivan was able to do for the Green Bay Packers, making the plays. You see, catching the ball. Hey, that ball was like not thrown directly to him, but he had to reach around, fade back, and reach his hands up to catch that ball. But go ahead.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Something that says to the offense, look, you didn't mistake this ball into our hands. We took it.
Yes.
This our cookie. We took it.
Yes.
Our defense don't do that. We just don't do that. We just don't get it. And I honestly believe after the first quarter, I honestly believe that Aaron Rodgers probably went over that sideline and told Matt LaFleur, look, man, they got us figured out. So I'm not going to really we're not going to force the ball to these receivers that don't have any experience. All we're going to do is line a receiver up in the slot, send him deep, and I'm going to throw the ball at number 30's back because he's never going to turn his head.
Wow. Yeah.
Both of those. The first, I honestly believe that's all Rodgers did. He just said, where's number 30? Hey, 30's on you. Just run straight. I'm not even going to throw the ball to you. I'm just going to throw it at his name. I'm going to throw it at the name. I'm going to throw it right between the 3 and the O.
Yeah.
On both of those, the receiver gave away the fact that the ball was coming. In both of those, Brown didn't even have to jump. All he had to do was turn around, and that ball would have probably, gave him a close shave, would have just landed right into the breadbasket. They wasn't high or anything.
Yeah,
so
I do agree with you on that because although he was in recovery mode, and I can't wait till I can see the all 22 or rewatch the film again multiple times before I give you my analysis on one view of it. But I was looking at it from the fact he was beat off the LOS. He was beat off the LOS, and the guy went straight upfield, and he was like, dog it, I'm chasing. He had no safety over the top. And, yes, like you said, when the receiver was reaching for the ball, he wasn't reaching high, he was reaching low. And I'm glad you brought that observation in. And if he was reaching low, then all he had to do is, like you said, turn his head. And like Coach said, when you turn your head, your body will follow, and maybe the ball would have hit him in his breadbasket, and they couldn't call face guarding. So you got a good observation of it, man. I had to really look back at it, though. Yeah.
And if this would have been just this game that we've had that issue, I'd let Brown make a pass, and I'd say, you know what, good recovery, Brown. At least you got back in it and stopped the 6. Stop him, because dude probably still would have been running, had you not recovered.
Right.
But this is something we've seen. This is years now.
Yeah, somebody informed me that the number 39, my bad, somebody informed me that number 39, Sullivan, he's the 4th string safety that caught that interception. Let that sink into your mental.
What are we doing, man? That's all I'm saying is just we got to be a dog, man. We need, I don't know what it is. I understand, a lot of people putting Garrett feet to the fire right now. People have put Kellen Moore's feet to the fire. And I understand, look, offense has self-inflicted wounds. That happens, I didn't see on the other side of it. I do feel, though, Matt LaFleur came in prepared to destroy our defense's best weapon, which is their speed. Those and I did hear. I think I heard somebody. I'm moving about in my house, so I think I did hear somebody reference the cutbacks and the counters. But the direct snaps to Aaron Jones. The counters, the ways they were able to just create enough misdirection to where he can put his foot in the ground and gone. Those are the types of plays that I think the fan base is asking for when we say number 20. Right?
Right.
Because that run that Tony Pollard had, I want to say it was about 2 or 3 games ago, where he looked like he put about 3 defensive players on a poster on the same move. He was heading, and the defense, he was about to meet the defender in one area, put that foot in the ground, made you miss. Linebacker made you miss, and almost made the safety miss. Now, when we did see Pollard in there for a series, we was running him. We were using him on plays that Zeke should have been in there on.
But you know what's crazy? You know what's crazy about that drive? You know what's crazy about the drive? Not to cut you off, but what was crazy? I believe we got to a 3rd and short, and that's when the interception occurred. I believe that's when the turnover or something like that occurred. When we got Tony Pollard looked good on this series. If anybody can go back and look at it, we got to a 3rd.
He didn't do a bad job.
He didn't do a bad job, but I think that's when the quote unquote either Dak Prescott took a weird sack, or that's when that interception occurred on that particular drive when Tony Pollard was looking promising.
Right. And my thing was, I shot, me, my dad, my brother, we always, communicate during the game. So Pollard is getting these carries, and I'm like, what? I'm confused right now, because to be honest with you, Zeke didn't break one, but I know there were at least 2 situations where, the offensive line created enough space where Zeke took a linebacker, looked like he took a linebacker and maybe a corner, met him at about 5-6 yards, and then went ahead and said, well, let me go ahead and take y'all to the first down marker. I know that happened twice. You see what I'm saying? So you bring Pollard in and run those same types of plays it was working with Zeke. I understand we got behind, and you know what I'm saying, we needed to switch up the strategy, but what's the point of paying Zeke if you're going to run Pollard like Zeke? Let Pollard be Pollard.
Right.
Pollard is somebody who, in the training camp, we saw in training camp, what were they doing with Pollard? They used Pollard more like a receiver. Yeah. Pollard, even when you look at the film in college, Pollard is able to catch the ball like a receiver. Pollard against the Saints game, on that 3rd down, was about to smoke that linebacker. That linebacker said, "Hold on, let me grab you real quick before I make Sports Center."
True.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we bring Pollard in. I don't want to see baby Zeke. That Zeke don't need. We don't need that from Zeke.
But
from Pollard.
That's the whole philosophy.
When we say we want to see more,
change your pace back. Change it up, switch it up. I feel exactly what you're saying. And then on top of that, here's the thing. It could be, and I'm not trying to put this out there, it could be just growing pains with Kellen Moore. He was a quarterback, then a quarterback coach. You see what I'm saying? And then on top of that, now he's the offensive coordinator. And everything is around quarterbacking. It's not around running backing. So I don't know his full array of running back plays. This could be like this is a surprise. You see, he don't know running back plays, you see. Or he don't know the proper running back plays to call out. So it could be that situation. And he got to go through the gauntlet of growing pains, you see.
Yeah,
but we'll figure this thing out, man. I really appreciate you. Do you have a YouTube page or anything like that? Facebook or MySpace or anything?
Nah, man. I got kids and I work all the time, bro. That's all I got going right now, man. But we'll see about it.
Yes, indeed, man. I really appreciate you for calling in, fam. Thank you, man.
I appreciate you taking my call, man. You take it easy, bro. Enjoy your show, man.
Anytime, fam. Salute. That's the 832 in the house. I'm going to check on this radio station and see what they talking about. And then we'll open the phone lines. I'm about to say the fine lines.
We're not beating. I feel like in 7 days we'll be talking about a Cowboys win against the Jets.
Yeah.
But I just want to know how you feel about the contract negotiations and why it seems like Green Bay, ever since Dak's rookie year, just seems to have our card. Like you would think that Rod Marinelli or whoever, they would just try to figure something else out. But just wanted to get your thoughts on that.
Appreciate the phone call, Tony. I mean, look, the idea that on a week-by-week, game-by-game basis, the Cowboys are reevaluating and negotiating. I mean, it's not like 6 o'clock in the morning, Stephen Jones is going to call, and Jerry, they're going to call Dak's representatives and say, well, did you see the game last night? We're down to this. I mean, this isn't the stock market where it's going up and down in terms of pricing. There's a range. I don't know if they're going to get a deal done this season, but it's not a game-by-game negotiation that's taking place.
No, it's not. Like, that's the thing. Let's just use each game as like a piece of data, right? They've got now 53 of them.
Right.
You have 53 of them.
Yep.
Right, or data points, what they're called. Yeah, 53 data points. You're not going to overreact to one or two, or on the flip side, the first three. Like, you've got 53 of these. If you are not sold on Dak Prescott by now, you never will be. And if you are sold on him, you're not going to let these two games unsell you.
Yeah.
You've had
exactly
53
right.
games. If you don't know after 53 games, then guess what? You do know. If you don't know after 53, then you actually do know, and that means he's not your quarterback if you don't know yet.
But they know, and he is.
But they know.
877-881-1053, 877-881-1053. You can call or text that number. Aaron is calling in from Buffalo. Go ahead, Aaron. You're on the Dallas Cowboys radio network.
Hey, what's going on? What about Jordan Lewis? Like, where has he been? Like, why not put him on the run back? Cover the run back. Help it out on defense. We got tore up. I mean, he shut down Kamara last year, and I think he could easily shut down Green Bay's running back. So I'll let you talk and listen.
I wouldn't look. I think the idea that he shut down Alvin Kamara last year is kind of a little bit overblown. Jordan Lewis is a good player. I certainly wonder. Look, I think Anthony Brown beat him out for the nickel corner spot last going into the last camp. This year, it seemed like Lewis beat out Anthony Brown, but Brown retained his spot. And I mean, look, you can question Cheeto, you can question Anthony Brown, and maybe Jordan Lewis should be playing over him. And I'm certainly surprised by it. I think the bigger concern, like number one, Aaron Rodgers is really hard to sack. So Cowboys got decent push and pass rush. They just couldn't get to him until Dorrance Armstrong finally broke through and sacked him, and then they had another one with Jalen Smith later. I think they ended up with 2 sacks in this one. But, so Rodgers is tough to sack. So because he's constantly avoiding pressure and able to flip the ball ahead, that's difficult. And I think linebackers, just in this game in particular, the Cowboys defense got beat by bad linebacking play, an inconsistent linebacking play from Leighton Vander Esch and Jalen Smith.
True.
Well, better linebacking play would be key. I agree. I don't know how much they shut down Kamara, how much that was, the Saints got pressured from the middle, a lot, and they were not able to, to get the ball out to him. But they did a really good job on him. Now, Jordan Lewis was only out on the field for a handful of plays that game. It's not like he was out there for 60 plays. So the Saints didn't use Kamara back then the same way they use him now, but still.
Man, let me just answer that question for you all. Kamara got hit real bad in that game last year. And we talking about a game last year, too. So that's last year. He got hit real bad by Jalen, and he was woozy, and he didn't play that much. And Jordan Lewis is a hip pocket Lewis. We love what Jordan Lewis can do. And like he was going to say is that Jordan Lewis also, and Kamara was utilized different this year opposed to what he was last year. Remember, Ingram was the feature back last year, and now the feature back is Alvin Kamara, and that's just the reality of it. You're not going to bench AB and put Jordan Lewis in full time because Jordan Lewis is not the starter. They don't believe in Jordan Lewis's skill set. That's just the reality of it.
To the Dallas Cowboys radio network.
Oh, they're gone. All right, so I'm going to open back the phone lines. Really appreciate you all. The phone number is at the top of the screen. Just give it that number a shot. 682-214-4087. There we go. 609er. What's good?
YOLO.
What's going on, man? It's your world. Your world.
Hey, how's it going, boss? Big fan of yours.
Thank you so much, man.
Yep. Just calling after this game. I just loud on my chest, but first I want to say it's crazy everybody's blaming Dak, though. You know what I'm saying? You can't blame Dak. We're 2 tackles down, And like I said, I just think he didn't start off too hot, but again, I just think that we can't go at Dak on this loss. The problem is our defensive tackles, and it's been that for a while. The Colts exposed us, the Rams exposed us, and now teams are starting to expose us up the middle.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you're right. You're hitting it right on the money. And this is a copycat league, and I'm thinking that it's enough tape right there to say, okay, until they beat us and stop us from doing it, we're going to continue to do it. Now, not every team got the personnel, and you will see that the problem with us would be those shifty and those short running backs. And I'm thinking that the next team we play, the Jets, I don't think that they got that type of running back. We do know what that running back can do out there, but I don't think that he's that shifty, short running back. And then on top of that, when we play the Eagles, we play the Eagles. They got Sproles and they got a plethora of running backs that can do something similar like that. But I don't look that far down the schedule. I'm looking at the next game, but I can't evaluate and I can't look at the Jets game, Cowboy Nation, and then at least until Tuesday night, Wednesday, around that time frame. Unfortunately, it's all about this game right now.
Yeah, that's the truth. That's the truth. But I'm kind of scared about the Jets because I watched some of that game. I live near Philly area, and that game was on. I was watching it. The Jets had a quarterback, and Sam Darnold played that game. I think it'd be a different outcome. I mean, the Jets look great on defense. I mean, Carson Wentz, you look at his numbers, wasn't all that great. I mean, so they can create pressure too, and especially if LC's out and Tyron Smith is going to be out. I mean, they can get some pressure on us. I mean, it could be, one of those a trap game for us, especially if we start off slow. I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, we going to start off slow. That's just how we play. I just don't look. If we start off super fast, then I would still be worried about us getting so relaxed at the second half that I wouldn't be able to enjoy that game. You see, I'll still be like, man, when is it going to happen?
Yeah, but that's my kind of but like that has to be on coaching though. I hate to put that's on Jason Garrett. Like I think a caller called in earlier. It's just like, other teams, they don't have this problem. They come out fast and they keep the pedal to the metal. And with Garrett, man, it's just we start off slow and then we find ourselves in these situations.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's just no excuse for it, man. I think at the end of the day, I think it comes down to coaching. I think the talent's there. I think we have the quarterback. I just think our defensive line. And also, too, I want to bring up our draft pick of Tristan Hill. Now, I know it's early. It's very early to assess him, and he got probably some years where he's going to have some great years for us. But where we were at in the draft, man, we had a lot of safeties sitting there. We had a lot of safeties. Thornhill. I think we had Rapp.
Hell, we had DK Metcalf, and I'm not saying that we should go get another wide receiver, but boy, we could have used DK Metcalf for the last few games. I'm just saying. I'm just putting it out there.
It's just Yeah, exactly. I'm not sure, man. Like our defensive line, man, it just seems it's a problem. It's definitely a problem. And like you said, like teams with the faster backs, smaller, faster backs, we can't handle.
We can't. Yeah, man.
So it's definitely rough though. But just wanted to call in, man. Enjoy your show.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much from the 609.
Man. Just definitely enjoy you all the way in Jersey.
Yes, indeed, man. I really appreciate you, man. Salute, brother.
Yep. Take care.
Mm-hmm. Good call right there. I want to bring you up this right quick. And I'm saying that you just go and get the wide receiver, what have you. But I know why they picked up Tristan Hill. And it's because of this. They don't believe in Malik Collins, number 96. I don't think that they believe in him. I think that Tristan Hill next year is going to play in his spot. I'm thinking that what they're going to do is they're going to let number 96 play this thing out, Malik Collins, and they're going to just go ahead and say, okay, we got your replacement, we got your replacement right here, number 97, Tristan, and they're just going to rotate him in. So they picked up Tristan Hill for next year's deal, unless he can find ways to find some more power and get strength, because he got the burst, he got the get off, but that's what this team been the issue right now. We got speed on this defense. We just don't have that power to be able to let people know that the Dallas Cowboys are here, you see. Yeah, it's just how it goes, man. We're not a physical team, and that's just the reality of it, man. That was a good call, though, from the 609. All right, I'm going to open up the line again. So remember, that number, 682 number, is a 24-hour number, so you can always call to leave your voicemail message, and I'll try to get to it one way or another. I'll try to listen to it. And the phone lines is open. Cowboys 3 playoff wins in 25 years. Oh my goodness! Don't be giving us those facts, A. Shout out to the 901, man. Appreciate you for tuning in to the Nation.
Call you back, man.
Yeah. What's good?
What's up, man?
Oh my goodness, man.
Long night. Appreciate you taking my call, man.
Anytime, fam. Anytime.
Look, this is what I need you to help me understand, man. I watch a lot of games, and I see a lot of teams punching at the ball with their fists.
Yeah.
And I seen at least 4 opportunities for the Cowboys to do that in this game, especially when you're chasing people from behind. And I just want to know, is it taught, or is these guys just got that dog in them to just give me that ball?
When I was out there in Oxnard, they ran multiple drills. Chris Richard ran multiple. And I'm talking about he even rotated from the DBs and walked over there to the linebackers and ran that same drill of punching the ball out. They did it. And I think I got it on one of my films, man, of him just showing the technique. Now, in games, it was a proper opportunity for LVE to just start punching at the ball, but he didn't do it. He had the guy stood up, because what you want them to do is rally and chase, stand them up, and punch for the ball. That was the actual drill.
You want them to make the tackle. Yeah, you want them to make the tackle. I understand.
Right.
But at some point, you know you need a turnover.
You need one. You don't want one. You need one. Yeah.
You chase him from behind. You chase him from behind, and he's looking at the person in front of him, and just punch at the ball. That's all. Man. That's taking my call, Law Nation.
Man, anytime.
Much love, man.
Always, man. Really appreciate you from the 901. Yeah, that was a good observation. We had multiple chances and multiple opportunities to just punch the ball. and I said that last week, too, from Robert Quinn. But these guys, I guess in the game, they want to rally and chase and get the ball out and stuff rally and chase, get the tackler down. 908 in the house. Shout out to you. Thank you for calling.
Hello. I just wanted to call about the Cowboys and our unfortunate L today.
Oh yeah, it's a big L. We holding it. We not holding it proudly. But talk to me. How you feeling?
Quite honestly, I'm aware that we're gonna be 4-2. Well,
okay.
4-3 going out the bye week. But it's unfortunate because you got to go against the Eagles and Carson Wentz, and I feel like we needed to have those big games, as in the Saints and the Packers first, instead of the bums first. Because now look at us, like we're like we don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And Dak Prescott, I feel like he's choking under pressure, and Jason Garrett, he's just soft. He's a soft coach, and today, I appreciate him showing emotion. I know that it costs us like $15 or something. I don't really care about that. Him showing that emotion instead of just clapping, like Coach Clapper, he claps all the time. Like he's the clapping coach, and he's a clown. But I appreciate him showing emotion today and throwing down the flag, yelling at the coach. But you know what? I feel like we're not gonna win the division. We probably gonna make it to the wild card or something like that. But all around, he does not deserve $30 million.
Okay.
Does not deserve $30 million. And just like the viewer earlier said, he's the black Alex Smith, and he does not deserve $30 million. He has I think it's $40 million guarantee, $50 million guarantee of Zeke's contract, and you have Dak needs all the weapons to be successful. He's a beast quarterback, a beast wide receiver, a beast everything to be a great quarterback and make it into the playoffs. And it's just ridiculous to me. And when has Jason Garrett utilized his weapons? We have an all-star team this year. Jason Witten came back, and it's crazy that we can't even win a playoff game. We won one playoff game over like 25 years.
Well,
1 or 2. It's crazy.
I think it's about 3, 4, so 3 or 4. But yeah, you're about right on it. The level of consistency is not there, and I can understand your frustrations of this whole entire team, especially coach. The coach is supposed to be the motivator, the innovator, the person that can give spark in everybody to the team and say, "Hey, I'm willing to run through the brick wall because of coach." And although Jason Garrett might do it, but he does it not live, and what that does, it is not being a guy that we can look back and say, this is the moment that the coach fired up the team, but he's just not going to do it. He's just not built for it, unfortunately.
Yeah. And I honestly think this is a good decision getting rid of Scott Linehan because I don't know what he was doing.
Yeah, but at this point,
what he was doing.
at this point, we got to do something offensively so we can validate the reason why we got rid of him. We got to do something because at this point it's still looking like much more the same. At this point,
I don't hate Kellen Moore necessarily, but Kellen Moore, I don't think he's good as an offensive coordinator. I think he needs to stay back at quarterback coach because I feel like that's his primary position as of right now. If he gets a little bit older and gets more experience, then I can understand him developing into a
love the show, fam.
Sustainable, good offensive coordinator. But as of right now, I don't see him leading the Cowboys in the offense.
No. Well, I will expound on that, man. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much for calling in from the 908. Do you have a YouTube page?
Thank you. Subscribe to Blitz_Clan/YT. Thank you so much.
Oh, man. Thank you so much. Thank you for tuning in to the Nation for the 908. Really appreciate it, man. Thank you all for calling in to the Nation.
Love the show, fam.
Oh, my goodness. Really appreciate it. Appreciate you for making the donation to help grow the nation, for making these donations, man. I really appreciate it. Who's this that made a donation? Adam Robbins. Appreciate you. And Adam Robbins, you made 2 double $5 donation, man. Anytime you make a donation, I believe it's over $5, the computer will talk to you all. And that's because I can't get to you because sometimes the channel be moving so fast. Here's the thing. We have to lay in the bed that we made, right? We know coming out of the gates that Kellen Moore is the offensive coordinator. Those that speaking from a realistic aspect of it. We got to know that there's going to be growing pains. There's no way that you're just going to walk in and this team is going to go 16-0 and he's going to look like the Messiah. He look like he's going to walk on water, turning water to wine and all those things. And I always say, I may not can turn water into wine, but dog it, I know where the liquor store is at. Me, as a guy if I'm going to be the facilitator, if I'm going to make things happen, I'm going to figure out ways to get it to happen. But in order for me to get there, experience plays a major role. And I don't know what Kellen Moore is able to do as it relates to Ezekiel, the main man, Elliott. These 2 games back-to-back of not having 100-yard rushing. I do know that we were behind. You couldn't give the ball to Ezekiel Elliott. But I can only imagine if the Green Bay Packers had an Ezekiel Elliott opposed to Aaron Jones, what would that outcome would have been. But it is the reality of it, Cowboy Nation. Let me see if they're talking anything on the radio show. And we'll tune back in and turn the phone lines back on. No, they're on commercial anyway. Let me turn the phone lines back on. But I really appreciate you all, and thank you all for giving me your opinions and your thoughts and putting it out there to the atmosphere and things like that. The phone lines are back open. 682-214-4087. Reggie Noble, what's up, fam? 469, what's on your mind?
Yes, sir. How you doing, Mr. Law?
Man, I'm doing great. Man. Better than I deserve, basically. But I'm mad though right now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, I've been through R2, man. And I'm only 18, but I've been a Cowboys fan for 18 years. Wow. Let me tell you.
Wow.
And I never miss a game. I see that game, and man, oh man.
Talk to me, man. Just get it out. Just get it out, man. You've been on this earth for 18 years, man. Get it out.
Yes, sir. Man, I just don't understand why, people like to trash Dak Prescott so much. I just want to say, despite the inferior coach, despite the inferior O-lineman play, despite his running back. I ain't even gonna lie, Ezekiel Elliott did play good for the first, quarter that we gave it to him, but we couldn't keep giving to him because we wasn't ahead, so we couldn't give it to him. But despite all that, Dak Prescott is a beast. And I just don't understand why everyone loves to trash him. The Green Bay Packers, let's go back and see, have one of the best pass defenses in the NFL. Their second-year corner, Jair Alexander.
Oh, I loved him coming out of what college came from? Carolina. He came from Carolina, one of them Carolina schools.
No, I'm not sure where Jair came from.
Boy, that boy was bad though.
I have no idea. But, Oh yeah. Oh, of course he was. Well, and I did want the Cowboys to draft him, but we're not gonna talk about that. But yeah, Jair, he's a beast, man. And the fact that Dak Prescott is able to throw over almost 500 yards against one of the best passing defenses in the NFL when everyone knew that they were gonna pass speaks volumes to me. I mean, like, maybe Dak Prescott, and, we were coming from behind, so maybe we didn't have really much of a choice to throw the ball. But Dak Prescott, his reads, him going through his reads while his pocket is collapsing steady, constantly, all these bad calls and all of this, and no one ever gives the man credit. To me, and Dak Prescott he's so phenomenal in the locker room. It's disgusting to where our own Cowboy fans won't give the man any credit. Like, I just don't understand. Dak played an outstanding game to me. Yeah, he forced some throws, but doesn't that show growth? One of Dak's biggest criticisms of his rookie year is that he did not ever want to throw the
force the ball into triple coverage.
As a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
So now you see some of these plays. Exactly. And as a quarterback that's trying to be more aggressive and trying to get more yards downfield, those growing pains can come. And I just don't understand why everyone loves to trash Dak Prescott. I just have no idea, sir. Could you maybe shed some light on that situation?
Well, to me personally, I don't think that he was the way he got the position, right? We got to go back to the origin of everything. The way he got the position, Tony Romo was admired, and Tony Romo was a guy who was a 14-year veteran at the time, and he can pass the ball tremendously. He's just a good passer of the ball. All right, so when Dak Prescott super exceeded him, right, you had your fan bases that were sitting there like, no, I just can't handle the fact that we got rid of the best highest QBR in Dallas Cowboys history. He got tons and tons of awards and stuff like that. So that was strike number one, okay? Strike number two was, I can look back on film and everybody can tell you that number 88 is admired by a certain fan bases on this Cowboys team, right? I mean, everybody clamoring for number 88 to be still playing for the Dallas Cowboys, right or wrong. You grew up your whole life watching 88, right? So Dak Prescott, his inability to continue to pass the ball to 88 like Tony Romo was able to do in Tony Romo's luxurious career, is what we're seeing is that we get a lot of kickback from Cowboys fans as only fans of Tony Romo that's mad at Dak Prescott. And then on top of that, you get the kickback from the fans that look at Dak Prescott's situation of him holding on to the ball too long and not being able to pass and see the same type of game that Tony Romo was able to do with Dez Bryant. And then we are sore losers. We are always in the media world, you see. And there's always a narrative. Now, I have to put this out there, and I'm not throwing this as a race card because we already know you see Pat Mahomes, you see the Deshaun Watsons of the world, and you also see the Jacoby Brissett, and you see the Russell Wilsons of the world. You see all of those quarterbacks. They're not getting scrutinized as much as Dak Prescott. But when you have a certain hue factor to it, I'm not saying that that's the issue, but some people are not going to be able to identify that quarterback being the America's team quarterback type of situation. That just means just giving you guys the real real deal how I view it, not how you all view it. This is how I view it. So he's going to get shaded in a sense, because this is what Tony Dungy, this is not my words. Tony Dungy will say, hey, there's certain plays that will be negative, only viewed from that skew of things, opposed to what another quarterback is able to do. So you add all of those mixtures together, and you get this narrative based on Dak Prescott. That's what you get, and that's just the reality. And I believe this. Tony Romo was scrutinized the exact same way, because you're playing with that silver and blue and the star on the side of your helmet. So you're going to get that playing for the Dallas Cowboys. And if you are talked about a lot, you're going to have people to create their opinions about it, and this is what is going to be put out there into the atmosphere. That's just what it is. I can't make it up any other way. Yeah.
Yes, sir. And you're not lying either. I mean, whether if it's your own Cowboys fan or maybe if it's another person who doesn't like the Cowboys, because we're America's team, but we also got a target on our backs out there. So Dak is. I just wanted to reiterate, and it's just Dak. He really is going through so much pressure. Yes, he's in that position, and he's making all these plays. Defense is playing horrible. To be honest, they should have just gave Aaron Jones the ball the whole game. But it was really bad. But the defense was playing horrible. Offensive line was playing horrible, and yet we have a passer for over 450 yards, and we can't give him any kind of credit. Like Dak Prescott, and he's only in his 4th year.
Yeah.
Like, this is his 4th year. Imagine if he actually has the line that he did in 2016, or he had the line that Romo did in 2015. And it's ridiculous, because Dak is a very prolific passer from the pocket, and I just would like to bust this myth that Dak Prescott is a bad quarterback and Dak is not good. But again, like you say, just because he has a star on his helmet, there's nothing anyone can do but just take it, and that's it. But we do have a winner at quarterback, and I would like to keep him.
Yeah, man, we got to find a way to keep him. Now, I don't think the Dak Prescott camp is saying, okay, I want the $40 million. I don't think that his camp is saying that they want the 38 or 36. We don't know what the numbers are. Maybe and hopefully he just sitting there like, look, hey, I'm getting this endorsement deals. I want to be the quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys for a lifetime. So we just going to sit back, and I want my guys to get paid first. And Dak Prescott, looking at his temperament, he may just be that guy. We got to get Amari Cooper signed, you see. And we got somebody else that I think we got to get signed, number 31, Byron Jones. So all of these guys, they are noble to go out there and play, but they're not pressing the issue. So if they're not pressing the issue, I'm not pressing the issue. So we just got to just get back to the nature of football, take this thing one day at a time, look back after we played, after the season is over with, and go back through our checks and balances in those ways.
Yes, sir. And it's And our championship window is here. I feel like Dallas has enough talent if their guys can stay healthy. And you know what? Dak Prescott put up 24 points and all of these yards without Tyron Smith, without a fully healthy Amari Cooper, without a fully healthy Michael Gallup. And it's football, and football is a game of adjustments. So maybe it's that you have all of these people that's injured and stuff like that, and that's the quarterback. That is your job to go out there and rally. And I think that Dak Prescott did enough, and it's a team game. At the end of the day, no one can say that it's not a team game. And Aaron Rodgers, people say that you can go out there and win a game if you're Aaron Rodgers, just simply because you're Aaron Rodgers. No, Aaron Jones had 4 touchdowns on the ground today. Aaron Rodgers, to be honest, kind of looked a little,
Teddy Bridgewater-ish.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was very game manager-ish. He did make some plays, and oh my gosh, I was screaming at my TV every time that they were getting so close to sacking him. But he's a good mover out the pocket, and he's good, but he wasn't Aaron Rodgers today, and we didn't capitalize.
We didn't, man. But appreciate you for calling in from the 469. Do you have a YouTube or any Facebook page or anything like that, or Twitter? A Snapchat or
no,
a
sir.
Gram?
But yes,
Okay.
sir, I would just like to get on the tour. No, sir. I would just like to get, just call in a little bit more and just so you can get familiar with my name and things like that. But I thank you so much for accepting my call, sir.
Anytime, man. Thank you for calling in to the nation. Salute. Good call. Good call. Good call from for the 469. My thing is, whoever the quarterback, he could be purple, he can be yellow, he can be white, black, whatever. When you play with that silver and blue on, the national media is going to talk about you, And keep in mind, the other quarterbacks, they can skate free. They can have overthrown passes. They would never be compared. Trust me, they would never be compared and scrutinized like the Dallas Cowboys quarterback. So that's just the reality of it. You'll be blind. You'll be blind if you can't see it. Think about this. When you go play for now, of course, I'm going to give credit to the Green Bay Packers. There was a rookie head coach that beat us down and put us in the ground. And I think that Jason Garrett overall record against rookie head coaches are kind of horrible. Look back at 2017, if you know what I mean. I think we lost to the Chargers or something like that badly against their rookie head coach during that time frame. But what I'm saying is that when you play with that silver and blue on, you get those type of reverb or negative attention, regardless of whether or not the quarterback is doing well or whether or not he's doing bad. Now, the good thing and the glory about it is that you get the props too when you win. So we can't be looking at it and saying, as they say, heavy is the crown, you see. So I believe that if Pat Mahomes was playing for the Dallas Cowboys, he'll look different. He'll look like a different Pat Mahomes because it will be constant pressure. It will be constant pressure. If they would have picked up Pat Mahomes, they'd say, hey, you still didn't have a rookie year like Dak Prescott. Or they'll say, oh, you didn't do the pass like Tony Romo was able to do. Oh, although you can do this and do that, you still can't do this and do that. You didn't win a Super Bowl in your first 3, 4, 5 years, blase, blase, blase. You haven't won 3 Super Bowls yet. So it's always going to be some type of negative issue or angle to it. And think about it. If Pat Mahomes or Deshaun Watson have a bad day, it won't be replayed thousands and thousands and thousands of time on the airways. And these players, they'll say, oh, we don't listen to the outside noise. Bull sugar. They listen. They watch. It goes across their news feed. You see people that jump into their inboxes and talk about them. And what it does is that when you talking about the Dallas Cowboys, it don't be on the nature as fans. It be on the nature of people that you looked up to, that you got motivation from. I'm talking about Hall of Fame players going back and forth talking about how horrible your team is, etc. So that's what you got to look at, Cowboy Nation. And that's just what it is. We can't complain when we win it and get all of the fame. And look, I'm going to contextualize it right here. I was sitting down the other day, chilling, relaxing, watching some episode on TV. I forgot what it was. But I looked up and I said, here's Kellen Moore with a Kellen Moore of all people. He's the offensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys. He had his own commercial. Y'all let me know that any NFL player or coach, offensive coordinator, let me know the offensive coordinators with their own commercial. Let me know. Put that in the chat box. But when you play with the silver and blue and you coach for the silver and blue, you're going to have commercials. It is what it is. 2-minute penalties. Yes, Gregory Williams. Yes, it's a lot of penalties. All right, we got a phone line. 301. 301, you in the house.
Hey, what's up, Law? This is Josh Branson calling from Silver Spring, Maryland.
Silver Springs. What's good, man?
Hey, man, tough loss today.
It was. A horrible loss.
But, I don't know. Both last 2 weeks in a row, you come away from these games that we left a lot of points out there on the field, a lot of mistakes. And, last week, a field goal. 1 field goal away from winning that game. One. And then this week, 2 missed field goals. I mean, all these things add up. All these mistakes add up. And what I don't understand is that we have supposedly the best running back in the NFL, and this isn't a shot at Zeke. This is a shot at coaching.
True.
And we have the best offensive line in football, right? We got gashed last year by the running game to the Rams, which was completely embarrassing. And we're still having the same mistakes. We're still being gashed. Is the defense not playing the best offensive line and best running back in football in practice? What's going on here that we just cannot figure it out? This is a coaching thing, man. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. Dak Prescott and playing behind this, you can't ask for much better for Dak. I mean, yeah, there's a couple of those plays that were bad plays. Every quarterback has this every game, every week. It's not that big of a deal. We at third quarter, the end of the third quarter, it was like 3 to 24 or 30 or whatever it was. I mean, we come back and still was in it, but the mistakes killed us. And I don't think we lose to Philadelphia. I think that we're still a better team. We're going to regroup. We're going to get it together. But if we're going to go down to the stretch and we get into the playoffs, we can't be having these kind of games. This shit, you know, week 5, you start seeing teams come together, not having this kind of bullshit. I don't know, man.
Well, what we got to do is we got to wait. This is what I always say, man. Football, you really test football when it get cold outside. So hopefully right now it's still warm. You know, it still don't look like football yet until they get cold, and then we can see the defense emerges a little bit, and then we'll see how the war of attrition works too. So I can say that we can't use injuries as an excuse because the Green Bay Packers had their backup center. They had another left tackle that was out, and they didn't have Devontae Adams. So I can only think that if they had Devontae, oh my goodness. But, you know, we did rally back, and it's still early. We are 3-2. We got 2 divisional games that we won within those 3 games. So I'm looking at it like it's still a dogfight, but nobody wins the Super Bowl in October. But we can get a little, you know, glimpse or forecast of where we going. And right now, we got to brush up on a lot of things.
And also, you know, if you can break the season out into quarters, the last quarter we went 3-1. If we can do the same thing at this quarter, you know, and then every quarter after that we'd be 12-4. So we're not out of the woods by any stretch of the means. Now the question I have for you is, what do you think that we could do on defense to stop this bleeding and stop this gashing when it comes to the run game, man?
All we can do, because we can't make any changes now, we can just hope and pray that Antoine Barbecue Woods, although I'm looking at number 95 as a big guy, but we can just hope and maybe he can bring in some type of force into the inside. But outside of that, this requires either a trade or a pickup or something to happen majorly on the offseason, you see. Shout out to Paul Mills for making the donation to help grow the nation. He says
if our defensive line can't stop the run in the backfield, then we are done.
Paul Mills said if our defensive line cannot stop the run in the backfield, we are done. We are toast. And Paul Mills is telling the truth. We got to stop the run.
Yeah, we have to stop the run, especially in games that you're trying to come back, and then it's the fourth quarter, and we're being gashed, and all the time's coming off the clock, and then you only have one timeout. I mean, all these things. And there was a point that was made from an original caller that was talking about, you know, you've seen the whole team kind of change when Garrett got fired up there on the sideline and got that personal that misconduct play. You know, I think that there is a lot to be said about him needing to fire the team up and being a little bit more emotional at the start of the games, because we have started flat, and this goes back all the way to like week 2. We've been starting flat, and if you look back at like 2016, there was a lot of times we come out in 2016 where we strike first, you know, where we, or the very next drive. There wasn't too many times that I can remember in 2016 where we just weren't we come out and we were fiery. We were originally fiery to start the game or the next drive or the drive after that. It didn't take us all the way until the half to come up with this. I mean, you could look at the Packers playoff game where we had to come back. But other than, for the most part, we were ready to go. The last couple of weeks, we have not been that way, and it's really hurt us.
Yes, indeed, man.
But I'm not going to take any more time up for the callers. I really appreciate your channel, the things that you do for us, and the content that you provide. And also, we're not out of the woods. I think that this team is the best team in the NFC East for sure. But if we don't start cleaning up some of these things that come back and haunt us, we'll be going down the stretch and potentially lose to a tiebreaker or just be, you don't want to go to the end of the season where you're relying on other teams to help you out. I don't think that that's going to be the case for us necessarily, but really also, I don't want to be giving the Philadelphia Eagles any hope. They don't deserve any hope with a defense like that.
Right. You speaking the truth, man, but we'll see. Though. I really appreciate you. Thank you for calling in from the 301.
Hey, man, thank you.
Salute. All right. Good caller, man. Good caller. Real good caller. We look at this game, and we looking at everything, and he brought home some points, man. Paul Mill, man, really appreciate you for making a donation to help grow the nation. Yes, indeed, man. Really appreciate it.
Our edge rushers cannot stop the run. Gap assignment discipline.
Yeah, assignment discipline is a major thing. We rally and chase to the ball like no other. We do. There's nobody that rally and chase to the ball. But undisciplined will lose your whole entire team. I have to say this. I had a point that I was going to try to get out to you all. Oh, yeah, I was going to get this out. When I'm talking to you all, and when I'm doing these type of shows, you guys help me out, basically. You guys give me a sense of relief, believe it or not, because I can bounce my thoughts off of yours, and you can bounce your thoughts out to me. So in reality, all of you all that tune in today, man, you guys are helping me out because I'll talk to the wall about this game. That's what I used to do. I just talk to the wall like, how in the world you missed this catch, missed this pass, or what have you, or how you get this sack and stuff like that. So I really, 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 really do appreciate you all. Let's take a few more calls before I bounce like a basketball up out of here. Let's take another call or so. Really appreciate it. The call number is 682-214-4087. Go Green Bay. This is from Vicky. Yeah, Johnson, appreciate you for tuning in. We got this 724 in the house. Really appreciate you. Thank you for calling in. You're live on the nation.
Hey, Law, what's going on?
Oh, man, it's your world. It's your world. It's your
world. I'm grieving. I'm absolutely grieving.
Me too, man.
I've been a fan for about 13 years. 13 years, my dad introduced me to Dallas Cowboys.
Okay.
Phenomenal. Tony Romo era. Terrell Owens era. I mean, we all know how that went down.
My goodness.
Anyway, 2016, Rain Dakota Prescott. I felt an instant connection with that man. Phenomenal.
Yeah.
The growth I've seen over the years to now, we can't pin this all on him.
True.
It absolutely upsets me that we're so hard on him. I've even been hard on him in the past. 2017, I was absolutely just out of my mind, upset with Dak. But I think honestly it comes down to emotion and aggression. We're not showing any kind of pace. We're not setting anything. We're not aggressive. We're not looking for the ball. We're not following anything. It's like we're just kind of waiting for someone to make the first move.
True.
And that's the most frustrating part, especially on the defense. Whenever they can just run the ball at will on us. Whenever I was seeing Jalen Smith just absolutely just deck Alvin Kamara last year, stopping anything, Leighton Vander Esch stopping any kind of screens on the low end. I mean, we're waiting on someone to make the first move. I mean, we paid DeMarcus Lawrence. Where's DeMarcus Lawrence been? I know he gets held a lot. We got monsters on the line. Robert Quinn himself is just a masterpiece of an addition. That man has to be penalized at least half the plays of the game. At least.
Yeah.
So, I mean, honestly, I think it just really comes down to it's early yet. We need to pick up the pace. Don't give up on them just yet. They're going to get better.
True.
We just got to fine-tune it. Jason Garrett, I mean, take it or leave it. I think we can overcome that one way or another. It's just all about the spirit and just you really got to want it. And right now I'm thinking we're just kind of sleeping, waiting. I mean, you saw that one play whenever I think Dak got sacked, and I think it was that Cam Jordan or whatever. The lineman was talking a bunch of trash to Dak, and he was brushed him off and all that.
Number 55, Zadarius Smith, I think that was his name.
Yeah. Yeah, whenever he got up on Dak's face, I mean, like, Dak instantly was just like, all right, it's on. Now, Dak is a clutch performer. Probably one of the most clutch performers I've ever seen. The fact that we were able to come back from that in itself, like, the potential is just off the charts. We've got more potential than I can even imagine. And that's just, I know that's what's frustrating everybody, but if you just bear with it, I think eventually we're going to we'll click. I think the Philadelphia game coming up in like 2 weeks, that's going to be the game breaker. Like, that's going to decide, like, how we end up going forward. I mean, we just really got to lace up the shoes, and we just got to show up and perform. That's all it comes down to.
1 or 2 plays, man. We got to continue to perform, and we can't lay an egg, man. I think that although we're a second-half team, which showed and displayed out there today, but we got to have that quick hit. We got to be able to start off fast one way or another. You know,
we got the heart. Like, the heart is there. The heart is there. Whenever their running back was just running all over us, and he like bounced out, took that like 20-yard loss or whatever, and Cheeto came in and just landed on him.
Right.
Like, that's what I want to see. I want to see a little bit of that extra kind of like, just like, you're at war.
Right.
Like, we're trying to win. Like, we've been so close. The Packer rivalry goes back forever. It just seems like we just didn't even take that into account.
And it looked like they done watched all of the rivalries. Yeah. And then on top of that,
I mean, like, everyone knows.
Yeah. On top of that, there were some plays that the players were doing. And I'm not saying cooler heads do prevail, don't get me wrong. But what I was saying is that when Aaron Jones waved his hand into the opposition face, into one of our players' face, at that point, I wouldn't mind an unsportsmanlike conduct of us either aggressively doing something after that play.
Pay it back.
Yeah, pay it back. And then when the, I guess, number 55, Zadarius, whatever his name is, was all in the face of the quarterback, I feel that somebody, a sniper or somebody, a silent assassin or somebody, to come out there and say, okay, you don't do my quarterback or any of our players like that. I would want to see this game get a little bit more antsy. But what I'm looking at collectively, and I do know that cooler heads prevail, but what I'm saying is that I want that dog fight. You know, we want to see something. And the only time we was able to see something was Jason Garrett.
Like, you got to have a little fire.
Yeah, not everybody can be choir boys, right?
Yeah, I mean, you got to, like make some plays. I mean, let someone else make a play. You turn up, make a play. Next guy up. Like, just start. If you just stick to the basics, just make some plays. Really want it. I mean, like, we could have had Aaron Rodgers down several times. We really could have.
Yes,
just
indeed, man.
You get that little extra, like, you're really hungry for it. Like whenever I look at Robert Quinn, he's a prime specimen of that. Yeah. That man wants to tackle the quarterback more than anyone I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Like, no joke. Amari Cooper's a straight-up dog. Like, just straight up. You saw him put on that spin move, that rack after, like, oh, my Lord. I mean, Zeke needs to show up. Zeke, I'm a little disappointed in Zeke.
Just show us something.
I used to see him hurdling people left and right. I mean, he's
just one big breakout run.
Drop the shoulder.
And stop
Lay a little bit into someone.
Stop eating. Stop doing the eat me sign. Look, the next time we want to see that is when he goes and punches into the end zone, money zone. That's what we want to see, you know. But, I mean, I really appreciate you for calling in, man. I really do, man.
Yeah. You drop the shoulder. You lay someone out a little bit. You just, I appreciate you, Law. You're the man. Thanks for letting me get my mind off. You know, I feel a lot better venting to you.
Yeah, man, you help ease my
Hold the faith.
man. Salute, brother. That was a good call from the 724, man. We're going to take one more call. One more call, and we're going to bounce out of here like a basketball. And I'm going to find me something to eat. My wife cooked some good food. I can smell my body. And this is the great thing about this show. There's no commercial breaks, right? You know, like most time you listen to a show with 3 hours, what have you, you hear, we're tuned right back into that topic after this commercial break. So that's the benefit of watching live, you see. Of course, once this thing is updated and uploaded, you have like multiple commercials in there within the Google AdSense and things like that. But shout out to them. You know, that's how we get fundings for this channel. And I really appreciate you all for supporting this channel. We got to come up with a W next week. Well, we got to. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. We're going to face against another good running back team, and we're going to play against another physical front four team. The difference between us and the Philadelphia Eagles, they are shown that they can shut down the run, you see. They are known that they can stop the run. We have yet to be known to do that. We can stop them from running is when we are up by multiple points. And I don't think that collectively that we have a chance to be up by multiple points if we don't start out fast. So we got to fix those things. It's only the small things we got to fix. It's still October. This is the first game into the second quarter, whatever you want to look at it as. But let me open the phone lines up. The phone line number is 682-214-4087. Yes. Savage Time, appreciate you, man. Thank you for holding it down. Who else we got? Tyler Grillish, appreciate you. The 832 in the house. Talk to me. You're here live on The Nation.
Hey, Long.
What's up, man?
I just wanted to kind of get my mind straight about this game.
Mm-hmm.
I was watching it. I was on the edge of my seat. I was pretty angry about the whole game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know if you could explain why they weren't sending any help on the left side, because Cam Fleming was just, he was getting beat like throughout the whole game.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, he was, I don't know if he couldn't hold any of his blocks. Then you also had, of course, in this game, you know, you had you had your weakest, your left side was your weakest part of the offensive line. You also had Connor Williams, which for some reason he can't hold his blocks either. And so why weren't we, you know, sending maybe a tight end and chipping or anything like that? Why? I mean,
let me break it down to you, man. Let me break it down to you, man. In a perfect world, this is what I would have done. This is what I would have done, and let me know if I'm right or wrong, Cowboy Nation. I would have kicked Connor Williams as left tackle because he played left tackle and he only allowed one, I think, quarterback sack in his illustrious career at Texas, and it was against that was Dorrance Armstrong. I would have kicked him as left tackle, right? You don't need a lot of power playing left tackle. He got one of the best hands. He got the best quick drop step on this team. He's quick. Fluid with his release points. He know how to land his jabs and things like that. We know that he's a technical type of guy. He don't have a lot of strength. But all I'm saying is that I would have had him as the left tackle. I would have then put my guy, Joe Looney, as the left guard. We know that he got power. We know that he got strength. We know that he knows how to read this particular the defenses that's out there because he held it down for us last year. I would have then in return kept Travis Frederick as where he's at, and Zach Martin and Lyle Collins. That's what I would have done. And then on top of that, I'm thinking that the left side of your field, the blind spot for the quarterback, is the crucial and the most important thing. Now, I can't give you guys everything because I got to go watch the all 22. I got to watch everything that relates to the Dallas Cowboys offensive line. But let me know, Cowboy Nation, and you as well, would that have been a bad idea? Let me know.
I actually don't. I actually thought that the Cowboys at some point were going to maybe move Lyle Collins back to guard.
Yeah.
Since like his rookie year, he had one of the best. I mean, he performed really well. And I just thought that maybe, I guess Connor Williams would have been moved out to, I mean, right tackle, which is fine. I mean, Tyron Smith right now, I think he can still, he's still good. He can still perform at a high level. It's just, I mean, he's just dealing with injuries, and I think that's a normal thing. But, I mean, it just, throughout the whole game, all I saw was 55 all in Dak's face, throughout the whole game. And I was just like, really? How are we? And then not only that, but then because of all that, you had wide receivers dropping balls, basically deflecting them into interceptions and whatnot. And then, so then, of course, we get into this whole situation where we start blaming Dak. We sit here and we're like, oh, you have people talking about how he always needs perfect everything. I'm like, what quarterback doesn't? There's a lot of examples as to, all these quarterbacks having, all these weapons. You have, Deshaun Watson with DeAndre Hopkins. You had back in, I guess, with Russell Wilson back when he, in his Super Bowl runs, he had, I think it was Tyler Lockett or Doug Baldwin, one of those
Baldwin.
two.
He had Baldwin, the veteran.
Yeah. Patrick Mahomes, he has Tyreek Hill. He has Sammy Watkins, I think.
Oh, the man!
I mean,
the best friend, the best friend to any quarterback would be the tight end. So he had that Kelsey kid. I forgot his first name, but he had a Kelsey.
Do all that too.
Yeah.
I mean, Carson Wentz has Ertz. If you want to go with tight ends, he has Ertz. He has Dallas Goedert, which I think that was a really nice pickup. I'm not sure how he's doing right now, but but you just have all these examples, and I'm like, why are we always for the one people blast Dak for always needing this and that, but then people turn around and talk about how per se Aaron Rodgers, he doesn't have a number one wide receiver. Who is he gonna throw to? Or Carson Wentz, who is he gonna throw to? And this and that. So I mean, if you're gonna blast quarterbacks for needing certain types of players, then I think it should be across the board. It shouldn't just be you can't just pick and choose who you want to blast just because of whatever agenda you want to push, I guess you could say.
Yeah, you're right. You're speaking the truth. 832. You're speaking the truth, man. Oh my goodness, man. I can't even say anything else after that, man. You went down with the bomb with that one, fam. Really appreciate you for calling in to the nation. Really do, man.
Thanks a lot, man.
Anything else you want to get off your chest, man, before I wrap this thing up? You have the honor.
Yeah,
you have the honor of being the last
thing.
caller, so you got the honor. Yes.
Hey, man. I've been trying to call this whole time because I've been trying to get all this out of my, off my chest. The other thing is, we in a way, our defense isn't what it's supposed to be. We can't get takeaways at all. I think we have players within our organization that can, but for some reason we don't ever give them any opportunities. And I'm like, why? If you know that maybe your other safeties or your other corners aren't getting the job done, why don't you just try it out? You have nothing to lose. You're basically okay. You never know if you can maybe find a gem, within all that, within all these players. You don't know, because I was looking at the preseason, and I know the preseason has nothing to do with the regular season, but, the preseason, you had Donovan Wilson making plays. Why aren't we giving him a chance? Hey, you know what, just go out there and see what you can do. I mean, it's just, I'm disappointed in Tank because he just doesn't seem to be getting home. of course, I'm also disappointed in like the middle of the D line where we're just getting gashed. And I mean, I'm sorry to say this, but we're getting gashed by average running backs. It's not even like top tier type of running backs. The only one that I have respect for, and that's because what I've seen him do is Saquon Barkley. Other than that, I mean, why are we getting beat? Why are we getting gashed by average running backs? Aaron Jones is not a top 10 or top 5, running back. I mean, if anybody wants to kind of debate about that, that's fine. But he's nowhere near that. So I just don't understand, and this isn't just now. This has been happening way before, like even when Tony Romo was our quarterback. Our defense it's a bend but don't break type of defense, and I just don't think that's a great way to have how should I put this? A great way to build your defense. Because if you're always like that, you're bound to lose a lot of these games, especially the close games or games where, the offense struggles a little bit and they get the rhythm, maybe later on down the stretch. So, I mean, I just don't understand why this organization is building our defense this way, where it's like a bend but don't break type of defense.
Oh, man.
I've never understood that. We don't get
I'm gonna break it down for you man. But I really appreciate you for calling in 832, man. And I'm gonna let everybody know, man, once we get off the phone, the reason why. Okay. But I thank you for tuning in. Thank you for calling in to the show.
All right.
And just continue, man. Just stay positive, man. Something will bounce back, man. Something will happen. Something. I don't know what it is, but it will happen, right? Yeah,
I have faith. It's just it's frustrating to see losses like this, kind of like the one from last week against Teddy Bridgewater. I was like, how are you letting him dink and dunk, and you're not even getting home in most of these cases? I was frustrated, but like I said, I just kind of wanted to air them out and just kind of maybe let that go and move on to the next game and whatnot.
Most certainly, man. Really appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Salute. Bye-bye. All right, Cowboy Nation. That was the last caller from the 832, man. I really appreciate him. I'm going to pull out the golden nugget that he put out there. Why are we being gashed? And why are we not able to stop the bleeding from the run? I want you guys to do a little quick homework assignment. In math, I know you guys took a lot of math. In order to find the equation, sometimes what you do on the right hand, you got to do to the left. When you move around on the right side, you got to move around on the left side. But also, they have a thing called the common denominator. Okay? I want you all to tell me in the last, we've been gashed like this since this new administration came in on the defensive side of the ball. Just let me know who's the common denominator and get back with me, Dave, he says, so I'm getting blocked for speaking the truth. I don't know what you said, Dave. Put it down so I can read it out to the nation of whatever you were saying. But Chris Richard, G-Rail, okay, he's putting down Chris Richard. Were we getting gashed like this before Chris Richard entered this scheme or system? Let me know. And this is going to be a long season, so we got to get it, some time for this thing to dwell together, Aaron Jones ran through the shot on the boards. Facts, yeah. Aaron Jones ran out of shotgun and he cashed us, and then he ran on the backside as well. So we was getting our lunch handed to us or taken away from us, basically. He took our lunch money. We was looking for it. When we went back to Mama said, what you doing? What you telling? I grew up with 4 brothers. True story. Let me tell you stories before I roll up out of here. True story. I grew up with 4 brothers. I'm the shortest out of all of them. I'm the middle child. And growing up, one of the things my mom now would say, boys shouldn't go run and tell, you see. So whenever something happened between the three of us or the four of us, and we go back and run and say, Mama, you know, my brother hit me, you know, I ain't going to say his name on a nation, but it would be like, come here, both of y'all, come here. She gives a whooping for the accusations or whatever would happen of my brother, my older brother. And then she say, well, Lawrence, you get some too, because you telling. You see, so two of us get whoopings for telling, you see. So what that taught me was you got to be a man and hold down your own. So what your brother is doing, you are your brother's keeper. You got to figure out a way to hold your own and don't be running and telling. Man don't go tell, you see. So that's how she raised us, growing out of Mississippi. And that's how we were always been, you know. Even when we got older and got into middle school and high school, and we see some things that were going on, like a lady maybe squeezing off with somebody else, we didn't go say, hey, dog, this is what's going on. You see what I'm saying? No. That's a man, that's his woman. You should be able to handle his woman. I'm talking life to you all. Man don't tell, man don't snitch, right? Stitches get stitches, right? But that's just how my mom raised us, you see. But in a household like that, you got to be able to get things going in the right direction. And as Cowboys, we got to figure out ways to, and that was nothing to do with the conversation that me and the guy had on the phone. But it's just me giving you guys some insights to me personally. You know, I'm not going to go run and tell that, you see. I grew up since a little boy. I'm not going to go run and say, well, such and such hit me. So in school, if Johnny hit you, you hit him back. That's how she raised us, you see. Now, if he's bigger than you, you get something to hit him back with. And that's what? I didn't lose a lot of fights in life. You know, I plotted and schemed the whole entire day and saying, okay, he's bigger than me. That's just how it is when you're the smallest person in your family. You said, okay, I'm going to figure this thing out. Catch him at his most weakest stage. That's all about plotting and scheming. When you playing football, your whole objective is to figure the other team out. What are their strengths? What are their weaknesses? And we got to figure this out. We're not doing a lot of figuring things out as it relates to the Dallas Cowboys in the last 10 to 15 years. We're not doing that. Old Bill Parcells knew the tendencies of the opposition. Old Bill Parcells been around long enough to know where that defense that you trying to play came from or where that offense is you trying to do. He knew a long time ago. There were many of games that Bill Parcells won with Testaverde that he didn't supposed to win. Matter of fact, to make things, to bring everything home to you all, there's a lot of games that Quincy Carter was able to go 10-6 with Bill Parcells. If you look at our collective roster, what we had with Bill Parcells, boy, we didn't supposed to win those games. He was the only coach that in Jerry Jones' administrations was a proven coach. Everybody else was a gamble. Jimmy Johnson was a gamble. A college coach, they played together in Arkansas. He was winning all of these college things. And he said, you know what, I'm finna buy the Dallas Cowboys. I want you to be my head coach. And he took a chance. Bill Parcells was the only head coach that was proven. Not Wade Phillips. He wasn't proven. He was the guy that we kind of looked at and said he's really Camp Cupcake, basically. But my only draw with Jerry Jones, he should not never, if he knew that he loved Jerry Jones knew that he loved Jason Garrett over Wade Phillips. If he just loved his temperament and he just didn't trust him all the way, he should have empowered Jason Garrett a long time ago and said, hey, Wade Phillips, you are going to be my head defensive coordinator. You can't find another job that's going to give you this opportunity. And this is my boy. This is my golden child. I would rather for this offense to be ran through Jason Garrett and go through the growing pains, because there was going to be a lot of growing pains for people to realize. And then let Wade Phillips sit back in the cut and be the defensive coordinator. But it didn't happen that way. Or he shouldn't have let Mike Zimmer go. Or he shouldn't have let Sean Payton go. You could have kept half of this philosophy of the reason why you drafted your players on the team. But it didn't happen that way. All right, Keems, Aaron Jones. Yeah, I'm going to let the AI speak on that, yeah.
Aaron Jones taunted Byron knowing you would have to come back out and face the same defense. Let that sink in.
Oh, my goodness. dropping all type of, man, my mental capacity is not able to hold on to that. That was early in the third quarter, late in the third, right? When he did the taunting. Man, it's crazy. And he had to go back out there and face that. I'm trying to let this thing go 3 hours flat. We're going to let it go 3 hours flat. Man, that was crazy. What are the cojones that guy got, right? Yeah. But if you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs, if you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, and make allowance for their doubting too, if you can wait and not be tired by waiting or lied about, don't deal in lies, or hate it and yet give way to hating, and yet don't look too good nor talk too wise. If you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you can meet with triumph and disaster, and treat those two imposters just the same. Let me kick my beat open again. Let me kick it again. Let me kick it back up again, baby. Let's go. It's all good. We got a right to be mad about it. It's okay.